I thought the game was over. They're gone. I'm kicked back in the lobby, and this guy actually ended up winning.
What's happening, people? Paul, you good? Sam?
Yep.
Jeanette, thanks for the resub. 13 months, time flies. Love Joe Pag Show. Thank you. Appreciate that with the Prime. Chuckles 9 hours ago. Appreciate the Prime. That was a brand new sub 9 hours ago. Sebastian, the 100 bits. Judy Chapman, the 17 months. Thanks for the resub. Thank you both. Hype train underway, 69%. Let's go. Early hype train on a Thursday. Sebastian, the 2 gifted. Francis, the 95. Let's go. Rich, the 100. Patrick with the 100. Let's go. Come on. Welcome, everybody. Thursday edition. Got a good show lined up for you. Cookie with the 23 months. Thank you with the Prime. You can do exclamation Amazon to see if you have a Prime, an Amazon Prime connection to Twitch. You just connect the two, give me a free sub, and then Jeff Bezos has to give me some money. All right, so make that happen. Cookie, thank you for that. Bridge with 100 bits. Let's go. Just went from about 150 people to 99. If Any idea why that would happen at the beginning of the show? B Sting, the 5 gifted. Thank you, B Sting. The 5 gifted sub. Let's go. You got a gifted sub from B Sting or anybody else? Make sure you say thank you.
Portions of this program are pre-recorded.
This is the Joe Pags Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
Great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. Lots going on, lots to get to, lots to talk about. House of Representatives, will it be Speaker McCarthy? I don't know. In the Senate, will the minority leader be Mitch McConnell? I don't know. Those are good questions. You know, it's really not a done deal. People think it's a done deal. It's not, and challenges can still happen. And if nothing else, the challenges at least will bring some leverage into forcing these people what they need to do to make people in this country happy. And those representing us are there to do it. That's why it's a representative republic. But people think that it's a done deal. The speaker is going to be McCarthy. The minority leader is going to be Mitch McConnell. What we do know is that Nancy Pelosi is not going to be the speaker. And I did a quick video over on the Instagrams. It's one of those come on videos. I didn't say come on, though. Instead of come on, Carrie, I said bye, Felicia. Is that something I can do or not?
Yeah, I don't see what the problem is with that.
I dropped a bye, Felicia on your girl, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My girl,
What?
Nancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll talk about that. Also want to talk about the effect of social media on what it is that we do in life other than social media. And it really is a shame because it ruins a lot of things. And you know, I've heard some people say, yeah, I don't really worry about what their political thoughts are. But it bothers me. Like if I find somebody or something that I enjoy, like on YouTube, then look the person or the group up and say, oh yeah, this is great, and then find out that they like love AOC. It just bothers me. You know what I mean? It just bothers me. And maybe it shouldn't. And maybe I'm allowing social media to do that, and I shouldn't on a Thursday. Feeling all right. Say what? Ba-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Seems I got to have
The chocolatiest of voices. Carrie Lockie, how you doing?
I'm
every
super.
night I have
Super. Wow, that's something.
strangest dream.
It's Polo getting it done. Also super.
Imprisoned by the
And
way
Sam, super duper.
it could have been left here on my own. Oh, so it seems I got to leave before
I'm the Talk Monkey, Joe
start
Pags. We'll
to
have some fun.
scream.
We'll enjoy the next 3
Someone
hours.
lock the door and
Sit back and enjoy. Let's go.
key. You feeling all right? I'm not feeling too good myself. No.
Come on, man. Take it up.
Yes, sir. Feeling all right. I'm not feeling too good myself. No.
Ooh. Little dust in the air today. Hello.
Laughing all of us.
Boy, you should
Little
just
dust.
Nothing wrong with that. A little dust in the air. I'm gonna cough it out. Come on, man. I can do it. Either way, glad to have you. It is a Feeling All Right Thursday. If you're new to the program, you're wondering, well, what the hell's this guy doing? Yes, I sing on the show. I don't care. We'll have
He
some
doesn't
fun.
really.
We'll actually just, you know, it won't be the stodgy fare that you're used to, maybe dialing around the radio dial. But, you know, I think that this is very important. My opinion is a very important opinion. We'll do that. We'll give you some fact. We'll have some fun. We'll give you the chocolate voice. Oh, I got a great email. Guy was like, hey, listen, first and foremost, you don't have to say hi to Carrie if you don't want to. So I thought that was a great start to the email.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Some people are revolting
Whatever.
They're revolting because the other day you had the beautiful,
Dang.
the wonderful, the incredible.
Yeah, I believe that was Seth.
Yeah,
I remember
wow.
that name.
Wow. Would you like to email? Can you imagine how he would freak out if you emailed him? I'm going to send you his email address. Maybe we'll make that happen. But
okay.
so I'm floating around. What I do at night is I make a decision after watching a little TV, eating a little dinner, and I literally, about 20 minutes after the show, can fall asleep. I mean, I kid you not when I say that. Do you have that same effect? Like when you're done, the work is done, because you know me, I'm every waking moment planning on something I'm going to say on the show.
I know. Yeah.
So,
no, I need time to decompress when I get home.
Well, I think that is my
need
decompression. I'll eat
that
something and then I'm
time.
out. No, I don't fall
no,
asleep.
I need a little more time than that.
Have you ever been in that in-between place where you kind of, am I asleep or am I not? Kind of floating in that purgatory of sleep and wake.
Sleep purgatory.
That happens. But then, about an hour after the show, after things start digesting, then I'm like ready to go. And now I'm making short videos. And again, I'm going to pump it because I want people to go and enjoy this. I don't do this for my own health, people. I do this for you. But over on YouTube, I'm doing the short videos, and it's Joe Pags Radio. On Instagram, I'm doing the short videos, more of the come on videos. Come on! Those videos are over on Instagram. They used to be on TikTok, but TikTok is a Trojan horse for the CCP. It's not me saying it. It's just true. So I stopped using TikTok and got rid of my account there, but it's over on Instagram at Joe Talk Show. And I'm editing until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning now, just because that's who I am. And my editor went and got a different job, so I didn't feel like hiring somebody else. So I'm doing that. And then I'll my decompression is music. And Postmodern Jukebox is a great group. They will take a popular song in pop music or even country music and make it jazzified and make it like it's from the 50s and 60s and whatever. And I'm watching some of that. I'm looking up the members of the band and whatever. And you look it up and first of all, the one singer who's unbelievable is so woke. She's putting together a Broadway show where every character in Jesus Christ Superstar is a female.
Oh.
Now, listen, I didn't know that this was up for debate, to be honest. Pretty sure everybody agreed, whether you think he was the Lord or not, and I know he's the Lord and Savior, but some believe other things. That's fine. I don't think there was a question about his gender.
Not until now. Yeah.
Or Judas. I'm pretty sure Judas was, I'm going to say a dude.
A man. Yeah.
I'm going to say the apostles. Generally speaking, we'll go with men here.
Yeah. Yep.
On who the apostles were. But this one, and again, phenomenal musicians, phenomenal singers, all females. So I said, well, let me look this person up on Twitter. Account has recently been deleted. So not only they are so woke that they're doing a Jesus Christ Superstar that's all females, but so woke that she's actually angry that Elon Musk bought it. So you can look at the cache of the website, CACHE, cache, and you can see like the most recent version that they have stored. And here she is retweeting a bunch of AOC crap. I'm like, why? And then I'm asking myself, why does she feel that way, or why do I care that I looked it up?
Yeah, that'd be my question, actually. Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed the musicianship, incredible, the singing, incredible. And you know me, I had the guy from Jesus Christ Superstar on. I had Bill Medley on. I will track these people down and ask them if they want to come on the show. This person would rather probably, and I don't know her, but probably would rather I die than to ever come on a conservative show. And that bothers me. So is it a good thing that I found out so don't even try to have her on the show? Or is it a bad thing that I found out that now I will enjoy the music less?
Oh, well, probably a bad thing then. Yeah. You can't enjoy it anymore.
But you know that I like to go off the beaten path and have somebody on has nothing to do with politics.
Yes,
I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think the listeners love that.
But I think there are a lot more people out there than just that one.
I agree, but it's almost in that field. It's almost, I don't care if it's male, female, confused, whatever. In that field, it tends to be so liberal.
Yes.
That they wouldn't show up. Now, again, you know me, I'll keep on pushing. Like I said, Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers, we were told no for how long, Sam? A year and a half, 2 years?
It was a very long time, yeah.
And all of a sudden he's coming on. So you know what I mean? So I feel like I can still make that happen. And I've actually told people up front, I'm not going to talk about politics. I don't care what your politics are. And we've done things like that. But that just bothers me that you're so, I guess, why be so overt when you're somebody who is trying to speak, sing, play, whatever to a general audience, why be so specific about your one-sidedness? Does that make sense or not?
It does, but I really don't think people like that, I mean, they care more about, this is how I feel, and I'm going to tell you about it, whether you like it or not.
Like if you're a little left, I can deal with you, but if you're deleting Twitter left, you know what I mean? That's a whole different realm. It just is. Sam, anything on that? I mean, because you YouTube a lot, do you end up going down the rabbit hole and then figuring out, I like this person, don't like this person, depending on what they said or did about something?
I do tend to go down these rabbit holes, especially because the algorithm on YouTube will just keep showing you the same person. And if I'm watching, interviews, for example,
right.
I mean, I'll just watch anything, but I don't necessarily look into like what they've done in their past. I don't really look into their politics or anything like that, just because I don't want to ruin it for myself.
Yeah, but right,
You know
you're
what
my
I mean?
executive producer, though. So you're also watching to think, this guy might be good. Like you got me Trey Kennedy,
Yeah.
who I thought was great.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, at that point, you're like, oh, man, this would be great on the show. And then you go, oh, this person's not coming on the show.
Well, I do think sometimes, I don't think they would come on, but sometimes you got to turn off work mode. And I think when it comes to entertainment, I try to just be entertained. But
I'm sorry, you turn off work mode?
I need to teach you the secret.
Yeah, please help me with it. Carrie, she turns off work mode.
That's a good thing, actually. Yeah, you should try it sometime.
Well, you normally turn it off for 3 hours a day. So what I'm saying, what?
Okay.
What?
All right.
What? It's
Here we
Thursday.
go.
Let's have some fun. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm not going to take calls on that. But I'm always sort of, I'm me. I'm a musician. I'm a guy. I'm a dude. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a family man. I'm a community member. I'm trying to make money and pay the bills. But I'm also somebody who's always thinking in the periphery, would this be good on my show? And it's too bad that something completely disconnected to why I think somebody would be good on the show is going to stop me from even trying to ask. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of lame.
So are you going to ask? I mean, what
I
doesn't
will
hurt?
not.
It doesn't hurt anything. All she
reach
can
out
say
to
is
these people.
no.
I will not reach out to these people. I have no interest because it will not be pretty. It would.
Okay.
Look, if you're producing a Broadway show called Jesus Christ Superstar and the lead is a woman, you know what I mean? What do we have to talk about? You know what I'm saying, Carrie? Do I just not know that? Do I forget that fact?
You can't forget it, I guess.
Not even get the phone. I'm gonna start now that I've got that off my chest. Again, get over to the Instagram at Joe Talk Show. I've got a short on Nancy Pelosi. I've got a short on Mitch McConnell, and I did a short last night that's got 16,000 views now on Chuck Schumer and how ridiculous his comment was about illegal immigration. I make that comparison to his stance on abortion. You're going to like that one, too. Go there to, at Joe Talk Show. Again, other short videos over on YouTube that are doing very well. Joe Pags Radio. But I do have to start the show, the news portion of the show, the news portion of the show, with a great piece of video that I think people are going to absolutely love.
My friends, no matter what title you all, my colleagues, have bestowed upon me, speaker, leader, whip, there is no greater official honor for me than to stand on this floor and to speak for the people of San Francisco. This I will continue to do as a member of the House, speaking for the people of San Francisco, serving the great state of California, and defending our Constitution. And with great confidence in our caucus, I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress.
Woohoo! That's my favorite video of the day. Nancy Pelosi is the voice you just heard. She is not seeking leadership in the next Congress. I would not be surprised if she stepped down soon and maybe became the ambassador to Italy or something stupid. I don't see her just being the lady in Congress. I don't see that happening. If she's not going to be in leadership, I think that probably you'll see her step down sooner than later. So with that announcement, one of the most monarchical, if that's a word, it's probably not, one of those empire-like leaders of the House that we've ever seen, who, by the way, was extremely effective. To me, every time she said she was a Catholic, she was a liar, because she's somebody who wants to abort the babies no matter what. They could be being born. Go ahead and kill it, not a problem. She's somebody who's radical far left, but the next Speaker of the House, the Republican that will be chosen, probably Kevin McCarthy, and I'll explain that in a minute, needs to learn from how she did it. Now, I don't want you to be doing it because of the bad decisions she wanted for the country. I want there to be good decisions, more freedom, more liberty, lower taxes, lower regulations, more constitutional. But how Nancy Pelosi did it with her iron fist is how this person's going to have to do it to make sure you represent us. I don't want another wishy-washy Paul Ryan. I don't want somebody to get in there and just say, hey, let's all get along now. Hey, how you doing? Because Nancy Pelosi never did that. She said, screw you, I'm not bringing it to the floor. Forget you, we're going to go ahead and vote on this one. Forget you, we're going to spend a bunch of money on that thing. That's what she did, and she was unbelievably effective. So that announcement to me was a very, very good one. Of course, we've got Kevin McCarthy with his response in video form when we come back from break. But I want your thoughts. Do you believe that the Republicans coming into the House, and I'll have Chip Roy on later, Republicans coming into the House of Representatives will actually do the job with as much determination as the Democrats have done it since 2018. They have run roughshod over whatever they wanted to get done. They have run over anybody who was in their way. Do you think the Republicans can do it? Because this commitment to America thing that he put out a few months ago sucks. It's not very good. It's very generic, as I said, the day it was released. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Stay right here.
Joe Pags.
Is that play or show going to be on Broadway, or are they going to try to do like a TV special?
It appeared, well, she was a Broadway singer, but then she did this postmodern jukebox stuff and was unbelievable. I was like, I can't believe how this person sings. And it appears as though she executive producing it, and they're calling it a Broadway show. But you know, they sometimes call Broadway shows that aren't on Broadway. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know where it would be, but it doesn't make any sense to have all females. I don't get it.
Listen, I understand casting the right part to the right singer, whether like whatever gender, whatever. But I mean, they're basing it off of real characters. You know what I mean? So that makes it different.
Right. Right. I mean, Jesus existed. The apostles existed. They weren't female. It doesn't make any sense. They're just doing it to be woke, and that bothers me. Now, they're going to sound great because if they sing like her, they're great singers. But it doesn't make any sense to me why they would do that.
Doing anything with the sole purpose of doing it makes no sense.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly right. All right. What's happening, people? Good to see you. Good to have you. It is Go Trump, screw Fox News. Okay, good to see you, Bill. The hype train was 11 gifted subs, 495 bits. The subs are at $22.69. Thank you very much for that. Mr. Dan PA, appreciate the 7 months and the resub. And again, B Sting, the 5 gifted. Thank you. Appreciate that. No, why would I do a poll? What would Jesus think of him being depicted as a woman? I would think it'd be 100% he wouldn't like it. You want to do somebody else was saying, can we do a poll? Lynn was saying, can we do a poll? Lynn, do you want the poll to be about whether the Republicans will do what Nancy Pelosi did? I can do that one. But no, I mean, Jesus, of course, would not be happy with being depicted as a woman. I think that would be simple, no? All right, we'll do that poll. Republican Speaker be as effective as Nancy Pelosi was? Well, Bridget was a good one. You got me. It was a good one. Sebastian, the gifted sub to Mary Todd. Appreciate that. Thanks. Vote in the poll right now, people. Will the Republican speaker be as effective as Nancy Pelosi? Yes, no, or don't know. Really, Sam? The phonetic on that name? I know that name.
Listen,
Come on.
I don't know.
Glad to have you. Phone lines open, 888-941-7247, 888-941-PAGS. Or go to joepags.com. Send us an email. Just scroll down to the bottom. Click on Contact. You can also connect with us on any of the social media sites. They're right there on the right-hand side. Click on the logo for the social media. Go and follow there. And again, we've got a lot more engagement now that Twitter has changed things around a little bit. And we're also growing on YouTube, growing on Instagram. We're going all over the place. Getter is almost at 200,000 if you like Getter. And also on Truth, things are moving very, very well as well. The question is very simple, and I just did a PAGS poll over on my my website. And again, you go there and click on Watch Now. You can chat about the show, watch us do it live, and also take part in the poll. Will the new Republican speaker be as effective as Nancy Pelosi was? Yes, no, or don't know. And right now it's being run away with as to what the answer is. You can go there and take part in that poll too. Have that answer coming up in a little while. I guess it really depends. If it's McCarthy, you might think differently than if it's somebody like Chip Roy or Jim Jordan or Matt Gaetz or Andy Biggs. It's not a done deal. And I thought that it might be, but it's not. We get into in depth with Chip Roy about that coming up. But it's very simple. Because, look, I know who my listener base is. You guys tend to be more conservative like I am, although we have plenty. But those of you like me want the government to be smaller. We want less regulation, lower taxes. We want a secure border. We want less crime. We don't want to be sending billions of dollars over to Ukraine. And guess what? The funding, the purse strings all come from the House. So will the House Speaker be as effective as Nancy Pelosi was for what she wanted to get done? I am skeptical, but I wonder what you think. 888-941-7247. Want to hear from you right now. Let me remind you about your money being at risk. Over $30 trillion in debt. That's where we are. We've got a war going on, inflation, tons of debt. Makes me very unhappy, should make you unhappy as well. It's looking a lot like 2008 again, when millions of Americans watched their retirement savings disappear, while those who invested in physical gold and silver were protected. If you've got $50,000 or more in your IRA, your 401k or savings, you could be at risk again. Right now, thousands of Americans are using an IRS loophole to add physical gold and silver to their retirement savings. Call 855-936-GOLD, 855-936-GOLD. Get a free gold IRA kit. Learn how thousands are protecting their retirement savings and adding $10,000 or more, and free silver to get that done. Goldco is the company I recommend for gold and silver, and they've helped place over $1 billion in precious metals. We could be looking at a recession worse than 2008. Don't wait. Call this company right now. They're a great partner with me. 855-936-GOLD, 855-936-GOLD. Make sure you tell them Joe Pags sent you when you make that happen. You got the phone lines. I appreciate you. Arlo, what's going on in Georgia? Hi.
Hey, brother. Hey, when I hear McCarthy talk, I like the show, by the way. When I hear McCarthy talk, I think I'm hearing a Democrat. I think like Gates or Chip Roy or the three that you named are the ones I can't remember right now.
Yeah,
but
Jim Jordan.
Pardon?
Jim Jordan.
Yeah, Jim Jordan. That's what I'm thinking. Because people are used to let's get her done kind of stuff, not like, oh, yeah. And those are my thoughts. I don't think he's going to get anything done.
Arlo, thank you. I appreciate it. Kara, I like that he sang it a little bit. I thought that was kind of nice.
Why not?
Oh,
right?
yeah. He nailed it. I thought he nailed it. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247. Look, he's right. McCarthy is one of those guys who'll give you a big fat smile and try to get along with you. And I don't mind people trying to get along. You get along with them to their face. You say, hey, listen, we're going to do this legislation. And if the left wants to get on board, let them get on board. If they don't want to, pull a Nancy Pelosi and force it down their throats. This is what you have to do if you want to keep control. Because what's going to happen is, well, what could happen, I'm not going to predict that it's going to happen. What could happen is if they're weak and don't push the legislation we want done, they're going to lose the House in 2 years. And with a slim margin like it is right now, that can happen very easily. Because trust me when I say the Democrats are going to start today to try to fix what's going on in the House of Representatives. They're very unhappy. They lost the majority. They'll do everything they can to get it back. You've got to be effective to keep that House. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Stay here.
You're listening to Joe Pags.
All right, people, what's happening? How you doing? How you feeling? Let's see what that poll turned out to be. Results of the poll are, will the Republican Speaker be as effective as Pelosi was? Yes, 7%. Actually, 6%. No, 87%. And don't know, 7%. So don't know actually did better than yes in that poll. That's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's a little bit ridiculous. Gabby is a request for a poll. We'll let this one go for 10 minutes. What is your favorite era of music? Joe Pallet, the gifted sub to Bill Dritt. Appreciate that. Joe Pallet, the gifted sub to KC. Appreciate that. Joe Pallet, the gifted sub to Bubba. Appreciate that. Thank you. Could be right, Polo. Could be right. You don't say it in the actual. You got to do the poll. The poll. What is your favorite era for music? 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or other? Everybody vote in the poll. Let's go. So let that poll go on. Make sure you vote in the poll. Hi, great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. Doing some PAGS poll over some polls over on the website in the chat room. You can go and watch the show as we do it live like a TV show. Just go to joepags.com, click on Watch Now. Watch Now. If you're listening between 6 and 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is when we do the show live. And again, love being on radio stations. I don't care if it's overnight. Love having access to all of this great audience in all these great cities. It's just when you want to see us do it, it's not on a constant replay. We do it live in those hours. So the poll was, do you think the new Republican speaker will be as effective as Nancy Pelosi was? The possible answers were yes, no, and don't know. What do you think won, Carrie?
Maybe don't know.
Don't know was second place. Yes was third place.
Okay.
Come on, dude.
All right.
Actually, somebody just said something very funny in my chat room. Will the poll results take 8 days to tabulate? Yes, the tabulators are down on the PAGS poll, and it might take a few days to tabulate. So no was far and away the number one answer, well over 80%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was like 87% no. Yes was only 6%, and don't know was 7%. That's how much faith they have in what's going on. Right now, a fun poll that my daughter Gabby asked me to do is, what is your favorite era for music? 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or other? Yours, Carrie, is kind of easy. That's 80s.
80s. Yeah, for sure.
Sam?
Well, I mean, you're missing 40 years of new music, but I chose
That would
80s.
fit. That would fit in the other.
True. I mean, that's
What?
a lot of other.
How many poll results? What, 30,000 poll results? So you're saying 80s if you have to choose from those, but it wouldn't be
Yes.
other? Because I think you're more of an 80s chick, right? I mean, even though you're young, you weren't really into the 90s and the 2000s, were you?
I was very much into 90s rock, but 90s wasn't an option. I didn't want to choose other. There's too many things that could be in other, so I chose 80s.
But your favorite is in other.
True, but there's too many options.
Okay, there you go. Polo, anything on this? 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or other?
I don't know.
All right. He's
Well,
literally
it's
the
the
guy's
same thing
literally a
that Sam
DJ.
said.
He's literally a DJ. So he plays all this music. You don't have a favorite?
Well, I mean the 80s, because I mean the other ones are just way too far back. But
Now, do you do like a wedding or some sort of a get together where they're asking for 50s and 60s specifically?
yeah. I mean I've done like some old parties, where people are doing like 75th birthdays and stuff
They're
like that.
old parties.
Yeah.
Hey, use Polo's DJ service. He does old parties.
No, I mean, I recently did a wedding with a friend of mine, and the couple, for whatever reason, wanted nothing past the year 2000. So we had to play like older stuff, and they were a young couple. So
That's interesting. Well, I mean, people
Yeah.
have their favorites, obviously, but not my father. Let me talk about my father for a second. My father didn't think any music was made after 1960. Carrie, I kid you
I
not.
get it now.
The guy was born in
That kinda
1940.
yeah.
Of course, he passed away, several years ago now. But if you got in the car with him and you had like on 1976 something, he's like, "What is this crap? This new crap. I don't like." Like, what are you
Sounds like my
talking about?
father. New crap. I know.
I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of sounds like you.
What are you talking about? No. I don't listen to any new music, but I don't think it's crap. If I listen to it, I like it, I'll say so. I'm not like nothing was made after 1987. No, I don't do that. But I don't really listen to modern music because I'm more of a music guy where I want to hear the actual instruments in the song. Like I couldn't. I love Elvis songs. Could not probably tell you the words of an entire Elvis song. Carrie, is that weird?
A little bit, yeah, because you're such a big fan.
Huge fan of his tone of voice and the musicians behind him. But I mean, no, my dad literally would like it was the year 2000, and we had like Stevie Wonder from 1974 on. He's like, "What is this crap?
He
really?
didn't like it.
What are you
Wow.
talking about?"
It's like my dad. My dad was a big fan of the Beatles, but
Right.
as soon as they started growing their hair long,
he was done.
and doing a different kind of music, that was it.
'Cause he's a military
sir.
Guy, right?
He wanted nothing to do with that. No.
Wow. See, that's cool. Now, Sam, growing up, we made you hear everything, so you do like Queen, and you do like Guns N' Roses, and you do like all that stuff.
Oh, I love it. I definitely got more of the older stuff with you and a lot more of the more newer stuff with mom. And she actually tells me all the time, hey, you need to, listen to the radio and you need to listen to these new songs because I do find myself, kind of listening to the same songs over and over again.
Something people don't know about Sam Bam is that when she was just a little kid, she would listen to classical music. Like, listen to it all day.
Still do.
Do you?
Still do. Yeah.
Good
oh,
stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. So the poll is still happening on the website. You want to go and do that? JoePags.com. Scroll down to Watch Now and just click on the poll, and you can vote. It's 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or other for favorite music. All right. Let's do this. This story out of San Francisco. Nancy Pelosi, and again, I'm not going to take a bunch of calls on Kevin McCarthy. He's not even the guy yet, to be honest with you. Not really the guy yet. In fact, I'll take a couple of calls on it because I don't want to leave you hanging if you're calling in about it. But he's not the guy yet, probably will be. But it's interesting the way that Chip Roy spells it out to me when I talk to him next hour. Because it's not a done deal. Andy Biggs did get several votes to be speaker. And you need 218 votes to get. Did you know that, Carrie, you needed to have 218 to actually get the Speaker of the House job?
I did not know that.
So you've got like 180. You're not the Speaker. And now you got to negotiate. And now you've got to make some deals. Now you got to try to get people on your side. So that's pretty interesting, I think. So we'll talk about that a little bit. I'll take a couple of calls on that. For me, what I've seen so far is they will not do the job as well as Nancy Pelosi did. But if we can twist their arm a little bit and use some leverage a little bit and tell them you want to keep this house and you want to keep on being able to do the right things for your districts, you're going to have to listen to us and you're going to play some hardball. That's the problem. Pelosi played hardball like a big league pitcher where you've got the right doesn't want. They want to play softball and lob it in there and let Chuck Schumer et al. Do anything that they want with it. And that's not okay with me. Let me go to the phone lines. Carrie is in Las Vegas. What's happening, Carrie? Hi.
Hi, how you doing, Joe?
Living the dream, man. What's happening? Talk to me.
Yeah, the problem with the Republicans is Democrats are like drones. They're in lockstep. They're really smart. With the Nazis, they all say the same thing and do the same thing. Where Republicans are a little more independent thinkers, and they're not in lockstep. And that's the problem. But it's also a good thing because we don't want drones. We want people to be individual thinkers out there, and it really bothers me that they can never really all get on the same page,
I got to tell you, I don't want independent. I don't want independent thinkers to the point to where it's so frayed that they never get anything done. You're right in a sense that the Democrats always circle the wagons when it's time to vote. But going into it, they've all got different ideas and they're all going back and forth. But when it comes time to vote, Pelosi would crack the whip and they would all vote how she wanted. The Republicans don't do that. They think being an independent thinker makes them stand out and somehow is representing their public better, and they're not. When you got a Mitt Romney who's off the reservation half the time, or you got somebody like Mitch McConnell who's I think doing his own bidding or maybe helping the Democrats, it's not helping anything. So I do want independent thinkers until it's time to vote and do what's right for us. Have that argument, hash it out, get the legislation to look exactly like you want, then vote for it. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, of course, and they should. But they don't. They all have their own agendas, and they don't work together as a group. It's like lions when they're hunting, they hunt as a group. Wolves hunt as a group, but Republicans hunt individually.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you make a good point. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. I hear what he's saying, and I do want independent thinkers that are going to represent their districts the right way. I don't like, though, when it's down to it. Like to stop the 87,000 IRS agents from being funded. The Republicans in the House of Representatives have that ability, and the way they do it is they shut down government. Now, the left immediately will argue they're shutting down government and military is not getting paid and mothers and children will starve. The Republicans have to dig in like Pelosi does and say, screw you. Get rid of this 87,000 new IRS agents or else we're not going to fund you. That's it. Get rid of these mandates for COVID shots or whatever, or else we're not funding you. No money for you. At the end of the day, the House of Representatives is the much more important chamber, although being a senator seems like a better job, because in the House they control the purse strings. That's by the Federalist Papers. Why they did that is so important. So they have to stick to their guns. If they don't, it's going to be 2 years and they're done. Susan, San Antonio, talk to me. Hi.
Hi, Joe. I was just wondering because I'm seeing a lot of Jim Jordan and Chip Roy, whom I love, both of them,
Yeah.
being a San Antonio girl. I'm wondering about Ted Cruz and your thoughts on Ted Cruz for Speaker because I like him.
Well, he's got a really, really important job in the Senate, so I don't think that he would be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. You can get somebody outside of the House to be the Speaker, but I want him to focus on his job as a senator.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
Just
Susan,
wondering about that.
Oh, I hear you.
That's
I
all.
appreciate that. I think that Ted has a great voice. I don't know that you can be a senator and be the Speaker of the House, although I know you don't have to be in the House of Representatives to be the Speaker. So I think that logistically you probably could be. I wouldn't want him to be. He's one of our 2 senators. When it comes to Speaker of the House, though, I want somebody who's going to flamethrow because that's what Nancy Pelosi did, and she did it unapologetically. And again, could not stand what she stands for. Could not stand the legislation she forced us to live under. Could not stand she tried to take over voting federally. Could not stand any of that. But she did it so effectively, they need to learn from how she did it and then do our bidding in the right way for more freedom and liberty in the Constitution and get things done like she did. Like her or not, and I'm not a fan, she got it done. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. We're coming right back. Stay here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
All right, Fast Eddie, I appreciate the prime. Thank you. And Joe, again, thanks for those subs in between. Lynn, they cannot just stop the funding for the 87,000 IRS agents because it was part of a piece of legislation that was passed by the House and the Senate and signed by the president. What they can do is they can present legislation deleting it and deleting the funding, and they have to have the Senate agree to it. The way they do that is they threaten to shut down the government and actually shut down the government. The Senate right now is 50-50. I think it'll be 50-50. Well, it will be if Herschel Walker wins in Georgia. At that point, you get a mansion, you get a cinema, you get somebody who's going to flop towards the right instead of staying locked into the left to make sure they get the budget done. Then you could probably get them to agree to the 87,000, and then you could twist Joe Biden's arm to make him sign it. You can't just get rid of it. You can get rid of it by not funding the government at all, and that's your leverage. Lee Zeldin could be the House of the House Speaker. He won't be in the House anymore, but he could be the House Speaker, but he won't be. He's not. He didn't get one vote, so that's not going to happen. He could be, but he's not going to be. I don't know what that means, 8421, why we're calling them Nazis, but whatever. Guns, the 100 bits, thank you. Progressive is not a word that, generally speaking, is only for leftists or radicals. You can be progressive and be on the right. And making progress is not a bad thing. Just because they co-opted the word, it doesn't mean that they own it. I don't think Jim Jordan's even running for it, to be honest with you, because Jim Jordan, you're right, Bridge, he would be great, but I don't think he's running for it because he's part of the Freedom Caucus that will hold Kevin McCarthy's feet to the fire. Andy Biggs was the hardest challenger. And again, Mark Levin, I think, would be a very effective speaker. He's not in the running. Nobody voted for Mark Levin.
Hey, Paula.
He's not in there.
Do you know the song that he just played?
I wasn't listening.
I wasn't either.
We'll be back in a second. Tell him to hold on. Susie Q, the 11 months. I appreciate that. Thanks for the resub. I appreciate you being a Pag Speed. That's why we need the non-rhinos to keep their feet to the fire. Polo, do you know what that song was coming out of that last break? Heading into this break, I mean?
One that I played on the way to break, you said?
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold the Line by Toto.
Thanks. Glad to have you. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Glad to have you here. A lot of people calling in. We'll get to you as soon as we can. We also have the poll results. Your favorite music era, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or other. What would you assume, Carrie, that the answer would be there?
Probably, I'm going to say 80s.
Polo?
70s.
Sam? I think she's taking a call. Must be taking a call. All right, you guys, I'll have the answer for you in a second. See, that's called a big-time broadcast tease, Carrie? You know, it's a big tease.
Yeah, I do know about that. Yeah.
Have you heard about that ever?
Been in the business for a little bit.
It's like you saying you're going to work hard today. It's like a big-time tease. That's what that is.
Why are you being so mean to me?
Let me ask you this. Why do you and Mike both have
Seriously.
these new sweaters on? I mean, do you guys get the new sweaters today or something?
These aren't new, no. And it's just really cold. and
I never
wanna
got
be
one.
Comfortable.
I never got one. I've been working in this company 20-plus years.
Maybe if you came into the station. they
I
would give
am
you-
way too busy for that kind of thing.
Oh, excuse me.
888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Making that Christmas list, you got somebody who you know has been saying, I got this weird odor. I'd like to take care of that in the house. You can hook them up. Hook them up right now and save a bunch of money on the Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier. It's got oxy technology, and it attacks any sort of an odor or smell you don't want in the house anymore. It doesn't cover it up, doesn't mask it. It actually goes after it at the source and takes care of it, even underneath stuff. And unlike other air purifiers that could go for up to $600, you don't have to replace any of the filters in these things. This is great. It's incredible technology, takes care of exactly what it says it's going to take care of, and they've sold so many, over 265,000 of them. You know that they're working and working very well. Right now you can save $200 off of the 3-pack of the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. In fact, you get 3 of them for $200. That's kind of amazing. It's a great gift, as I said. 3 units, under $200. It really makes a great gift. You know that it's actually going to work, as I said. So go to the website right now, EdenPureDeals.com. Put in discount code PAGS3, P-A-G-S, the number 3, to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com, discount code PAGS3. And remember, shipping is also free. All right, the poll came in, and one of you were right, or was right. The 80s is the number one answer. Yeah, 80s.
Right.
70s, very close. It was 37% for the 80s, 31% for the 70s. Other got 16% for the favorite music era. The 60s at 13%, and the 50s at 3%. It's kind of fun, right? Kind of a fun poll.
Sure, yeah, not bad.
Now, is your favorite song a Bon Jovi song?
I don't know if I have an all-time favorite song, but probably would be.
My favorite song in the 80s, I think, would have to be, although Chicago 17 was probably, for me, their greatest album. But my favorite song, I think, was by Mr. Mister. I think it was Kyrie.
Really?
What a song. Holy crap. And that
Wow,
chorus where
okay.
they're all doing the harmonies, come on.
Yeah,
They nailed it.
That's pretty good.
Great
That's a pretty
song.
good song.
So, yeah, I think probably was my favorite song from the 80s. But anything in Chicago 17, I was down. And I think Chicago 17 came out in 84, 85, something around like
I
that.
love Chicago in the 80s.
I mean,
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
but that's what broke
That's
him
some
up.
great ballads.
You know that's what broke him up, right?
Really?
That's why Peter Cetera left.
I did
Because
not know that.
he sang lead in almost every song, and they stopped like using real music in the background. You can actually hear synthesizers and even a drum machine on some of these songs. And Chicago was like, dude, we're a band. What are we doing here? You know, we have jazz musicians in this band. But what a great album. I mean, that was Hard Habit to Break.
I did. Oh,
that was You're the
so
Inspiration.
good.
I mean, that was those songs were
loved all
amazing.
those.
Stay
I
the
loved
Night.
them.
It was right there
Yeah.
in that
Oh, that
album.
was a good one too.
888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Let me go to the phone lines. I appreciate you taking the time. We are talking about the makeup of the House of Representatives and whether the Republicans do the job we expect, or is it going to be just sort of same old, same old? Let me go back at it and say hello to line 4 is Paul in California. Paul, what's going on? Hi.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Happy Thursday.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Kevin McCarthy is an establishment guy. So, no, he's going to be I don't think he'll be quite as linguini spined as Paul Rhino was when he was speaker. But no, Republicans hold office, Democrats wield power. That's usually how it works. And he didn't show any leadership during the recall last year. He told the state GOP to stay out of the recall. So Kevin McCarthy is for Kevin McCarthy. He's just a slightly more, I don't know, at least in talking, conservative version of Mitch McConnell, or Cocaine Mitch McChina. I don't know.
All right, Paul. Thank you. Appreciate that. I got the nicknames coming out. I don't know. Got a bunch of nicknames coming out. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. So let me say this. I don't disagree with your characterization of how McCarthy has been up till now. The problem is for him and for that mindset is that you've got the Freedom Caucus that wields a lot of power. And the Freedom Caucus says get it done. And Jim Jordan's in there. A lot of really great, very stern conservatives are in there. If they say get it done, I think he's going to have to listen to them, because if he doesn't, he could lose that leadership role for sure. And again, he's not a shoo-in. He doesn't have 218 right now, that's for sure. And we'll get into that more with Chip Roy a little later on. Dave, Colorado, 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hey, Joe, how you doing? I just wanted to say, in regards to your poll from will the Republicans be as good as Nancy Pelosi, and the poll came back no overwhelmingly. I think the reason behind that is Republicans will always be at a disadvantage because they have morals. When you have no moral compass and you'll do whatever you need to do to have that power, I can't even imagine the threats over the years that Nancy Pelosi's made behind the scenes to get people to fall in line. What was it her daughter said? She'll cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. Her own daughter said that. So
well,
that's
Dave,
all I had.
Dave, I hear you, and I can appreciate that, but it's easier to have no morals when you're on the side that is not for morals, when you're on the side of killing unborn children and open borders and don't worry about crime and letting people out of prison. When you have no morals, it's easy to live without morals. But having said that, the legislation that the Republicans or conservatives would need to get done for us to be happy are very moral things. And they now have the power. Why can't they be just as ruthless in getting something positive done as she was in getting something that we see as negative done? 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Stop by the website right now, and we're back after this. Stay here.
Don't be an A-dub. Stay with the Joe Pags Show.
Where?
Hey guys on the phone lines, we are moving on to a new subject here, so keep listening and call back soon.
All right, people, time to grab a protein bar, and how are we doing with soda? Maybe a soda, too. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay right here. In a warm South Florida summer, they weren't warned, didn't see it coming. For years Trump's been scorned. Then early morn that Monday, peace was breached. FBI barged on in. Now Garland should be impeached. They searched it all. Bedrooms, bathrooms down the hall. Got it signed up by some late court. Even took all their passports. It's crazy that they did. Pretend Trump had stuff hid. They did this all to help old Joe. Raided Mar-a-Lago. They took a bunch of boxes. Their reasons were rough. Hid Melania's closet. Why'd they go through her stuff? If they were concerned, why the wait so long? Politics. Which makes it so very wrong. They got it all. They got it all. Bedrooms, bathrooms down the hall. This really was a shit show. Raiding Mar-a-Lago. Garland is a dweeb. Garland is a dweeb. Politics is what he sees. I bet you know he'd do it again. Anything to help Biden. Look at the puppy. Look at the puppy. Look at the puppy. Give me that puppy. Give me that puppy. Aw. When you break the law and come across our southern line, give it a puppy. Ron DeSantis is there to show you a good time. He gave gift cards, hotel stays, wake your ass up, puppy. Some food and free airfare to the island. Many say is so sublime. It's too bad you can't stay. They want you out of the way, 'cause they're liars. Oh, yes, they are. Look at the puppy. It was just spin. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. They don't want you there at all. Their bluff was called, yeah, 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 yeah. How old are they, Sam? They're hypocrites.
Less than a week old.
They said there were no jobs. Didn't want your kids in school. The welcome sign was just to make them feel good. That place is filled with those snobs. If you bought it, you're a fool. Called the garden to rush you out there, all ghouls. Come on now. When you came to this land, no matter what you had planned, you found out so fast. Oh, yes, you did. They've got no class. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, they don't want you there at all. Let's do some radio. Thank you, Sam. Awesome.
This is the Joe Pag Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
Oh, yeah, glad to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. Lots going on, lots to get to. If you're not watching the video stream, at least on the breaks, here are some Pags parodies there, and you get to look at one of Sam's new puppies. Sam, does the puppy have a name yet, that one?
Yes, we named her Bean.
Bean.
Yep.
Okay, good. Looks kind of like a bean. And people,
Yep.
Carrie, people are so stupid. Somebody in the chat room said, looks like Joe. What is that? What is that?
I don't know.
What am
That's
I?
kinda rude.
I'm a little puppy now? All right. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. It's coming your way this hour, including Chip Roy, one of the loudest voices, most conservative voices in the House of Representatives. We get into the nitty-gritty about what's going to happen with the House now. Will it be Kevin McCarthy? Is that a done deal? The answer is no. And, well, what happens now? Is there a main date that we have to think about in January about when an actual vote will happen and when the gavel gets passed? So we'll see. We're going to talk about all that, plus the border, plus the lies about the border. Mayorkas saying that the border is secure, all of that, and then some. Plus, we're going to get into a little bit of trans stuff. Not that I've been focusing on that much lately, but there's a woman who walks out at a school board meeting, and she's dressed as a cat. Have you seen this, Carrie?
No, I have
She's
not.
dressed as a cat and says, I'm not a woman, I'm a cat. And then she goes ahead and makes them understand why allowing men to say they're women or vice versa doesn't make any sense. It's actually a really good argument. I'm going to let it play. It's like 3 minutes long. It's like a really good argument for why all of this shenanigans just have to stop. We're going to do all that and much, much more on a Thursday. Feeling all right. Uh-huh. Say what? What's going on, Carrie? How you doing?
I'm just great.
Seems
Wow.
I got to have a
Paul's making it happen as well.
change.
Sam?
Every
Getting her
night
done.
I have strangest dream. Imprisoned by the way it could have been. Left here on my own.
We enjoyed meeting Bean
So
during the
it
break.
seems
Bean the puppy.
I got to leave
That apparently looks just
before
like
I
me.
Start to scream.
Who knew?
Won't someone
Turn it up. Let's sing along. Let's go.
Took the key. You feeling all right? I'm not feeling too good myself. No.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir. You feeling all right? I'm not feeling too good myself. No.
All right, so how we do. We sing it on a Thursday. It's almost Friday. The weekend's almost here. Carrie, big doings next week? Big doings? What's going to happen next week?
No, I'm going to cook and I'm going to relax.
What time?
And then,
What time should we be there?
let me get back to you. You should be getting something in the mail if you're invited to Thanksgiving. That's what you're
Well,
talking about.
I know that's not
And
going to
you
happen.
would come to my
'cause
house
I'm
anyway.
sure you don't even know my address. So the idea that I'm getting something in the mail is just not
do.
true.
Yeah,
But no,
I do
we're
remember
doing
that.
the big deal at the house, and I think we've got like 8 turkeys weighing 72,000 pounds. I don't know. Well,
Oh. That is
got a
lot
couple of
turkey.
fridges. One, generally speaking, for drinks, and you open any of the compartments, there's a turkey.
Big to do over
why,
at the Pag's
so
house.
why do we have another turkey?
So
just in
may
case.
I ask what time then?
No, I was told that you were cooking, so you're good.
Well, I can change that.
Actually, you can't.
I can change that. I can.
Turkey's
I
non-refundable.
think I can do it. I haven't bought my turkey
I
yet.
just got a
so-
call. They said you can't.
Yeah.
But the rest of the
I'm
family
gonna
is going to
say
stop by, I
one,
think,
about
later for dessert.
one-ish.
I'm pretty sure. One-ish.
My kids are coming.
You eat
yeah.
at 1 o'clock?
No, I'm saying I'll be over at your place by about 1. Yeah.
Why are you
me and
planning to
the
cook?
boys.
I mean, why are you coming to my house?
No, because we're going to eat dinner.
You just told me it's happening at your house. Are you just going to cancel everything now?
Well, you were wanting an invite to my house.
Right,
Why
because I think
can't
that's
be invited
appropriate.
to
I'm the
yours?
host. I should be invited. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
No idea why that happens. Okay, yeah. Everybody come on over to my house. You good? Come on.
Yeah, okay. We'll be there.
You lie. She's such a liar. She's going to send me a note with a bunch of F words in it about how she's not coming over. So don't buy her BS, okay? Those of you in listener land. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Do me a favor. Give me this stupid story out of San Francisco. Because if I read the headline right, it appears to say that they're doing some sort of basic bottom line pay for trans people. I'm not sure I get it. What is this?
Well, yeah, this is from the Daily Mail. People applying for San Francisco's new transgender low-income scheme must choose between more than 130 genders, pronouns, and sexualities. And the Democrat-run city is the second in America to offer targeted benefits specifically for residents who are transgender and make less than $600 a month. Those who want to apply for the guaranteed $1,200 a month package can fill out a 10-page form online, which asks about contact details, income, and Social Security. But they're also invited to choose between 97 genders, 18 pronouns, and 19 options for sexual orientation, and told to check all that apply. Among the options listed are xenogender, a gender beyond human understanding, and gender bleep, someone who purposefully sends mixed messages about their sex. Nova gender, which refers to someone who believes their gender identity is so complex it cannot be described using existing categories, is also an option. Also an option is FTX, which stands for female to expansive, a person assigned female at birth who identifies as non-binary. Pronoun options include traditional terms like he, him, her, but there are obscure gender-neutral choices like z, zim, z, or zers. Meanwhile, possible sexual orientations listed include heterosexual, homosexual, same-gender loving, and BDSM/kink. Jay Richards from the right-wing Heritage Foundation told DailyMail.com, gender ideology is overrunning our culture and vastly amplifying the number of minors and adults who suffer from gender dysphoria and gender confusion. Also saying expect a growing population of needy, indigent people in San Francisco presenting as transgender.
Okay. One appeared to be people loving same gender. Wasn't that one that you just said?
Yeah, what was it?
Isn't that the definition of gay?
Same gender loving.
Okay, same gender loving. Isn't that? Well, that could be actually. It could be something different. If I want my brain to hurt, that could mean if you're a man and you want to be with a man, or if you see a woman you want to be with, you pretend to be a woman that day, and then you could be with a woman because then it's still the same gender. Then you just change your gender whenever you want. But how is that different than gender fluid, which still sounds gross?
I don't know. My thing was that, the xenogender, a gender beyond human understanding.
I'm a Xeno talk show host. I'm a talk show host beyond human understanding. It doesn't make any sense.
So confusing.
So I went to the automotive the other day because I had to get my gender fluid changed. Because when it runs low, because the hydraulics don't work exactly the right way in like the struts or something of the that's that part of the powertrain in the car, the trans fluid or the gender fluid. No.
I'm looking through this application that they have to go through. I mean, some of these pronouns co's, am, ers, per, pers, ters, ver.
Turd? What did you say?
No, ters. Tur and ters.
Sam, what did you hear there? I thought I heard her say
no D.
The pronoun was turd.
Is someone being called Tater? I mean,
hey, Tater.
Tot?
If Tater has a kid, it's a tater tot. I think you're right. And if it makes a mess in the diaper, it could be a tater tot turd. I don't know. Sam, anything? Come on.
In the one where it says, check all that apply in gender identity, a woman of trans experience, or a woman with a history of gender transition, trans feminine, feminine of center, MTF, male to female, demigirl, T-girl, sister girl, cisgender man, girl, transgender man.
you a turd.
No.
Come on.
No.
Of all the talk show hosts you could have worked with, you chose this immature one. Is that what it is?
I know.
Come
I know
on,
I
man.
did.
I mean,
Yep.
honestly, can they just make up any sound and then we just have to agree that that's what they are? My pronouns are. I mean, that's it. They got
Yeah.
well.
And if you say it, that's it. And people have to. That's what they have to call you, or you're a something phobe.
Well, was speaking before I said anything. Honestly, can I make a burp sound? And that's my pronoun. And if you don't use it, you're in big trouble.
No, but you can't because you're a white cis male. So it's not working for you.
Sam, are you okay? All right, what's going on with you? Sam's gone. She's gone. She's bright red, and I think she might be crying. I'm not sure what's going on. See, you know what I mean, Carrie? Because that's right now. People are driving off the road. Because I'm gonna go. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go reapply for my insurance or something. And say, I'm sorry.
The thing, it's real.
Can't say Mr. or
real.
Mrs. is gonna be is my pronoun, and if you don't use it right, that's it. You're in trouble. You're a fartphobe. That's what you are. You're a fartophobe.
But people are getting $1,200 a month.
Sam, are you gonna be okay? What is going on with you right now? Carrie, if everybody could just see what my daughter's going through right now, dealing with all this.
Okay.
All right. So at the end of the day, you got people just making stuff up. Now, listen, I think this is maybe the best video I've seen in a while. Now, she calls herself Lindsey Graham. Now, I don't know if that's really her name, but she shows up at a school board meeting.
Hello, my name is Lindsey Graham, and I am a cat. Meow, meow. I'm not a woman dressed as a cat. I am a cat. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe and confess that I'm a cat? Great. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe that your child or a child from this school would believe that I'm actually a cat? No one. You are right. Why? Because you are not stupid, and these children are not stupid. Truth prevails over imagination. Reality exists. Discernment is innate and something we are biologically wired to have. One look at me, and you know this to be true. I am a woman posing as a cat. You may also think correctly that if I truly believe I'm a cat, I have a mental disorder. If I suffer from a mental disorder, and if I am unable to discern reality, am I safe to be around children? Would you put me in charge of making critical decisions about the safety and well-being of children and about the direction of their education when I cannot even discern truth from fiction? Confession. I'm not actually a cat, guys, just because I say I am. You've not agreed to or committed to addressing me as a cat simply because I demand it. No tail, whiskers, or outfit makes me a cat, just like no lipstick, high heels, or long hair makes him a man, a woman. It is just as biologically impossible for me to become a cat as it is for a man to be a woman. And you have one job as members of this school board, and it's defined as this. School board members are responsible for broad, forward-thinking, minute analysis and decisive action in all areas that affect students and staff in their schools. I ask you, do you believe that the actions of a grown man playing dress-up as a woman affects the students and staff positively or negatively? A public school is not the place for social experiments in altered realities or gender ideologies. It is not the place to celebrate a grown man with a mental illness, dressing as a woman, and teaching kids lies. Children come to school to learn facts and truths about reality, including unchanging biological truths about science and nature, not to learn that they can change biological realities and become anything they want in the name of diversity. What you're actually doing is worse than just lying to our kids. You're forcing them to be participants in your lie, in your charade. You're forcing them to deny what they see with their eyes, and you're forcing them to speak lies. I ask you again, am I a cat? And if you say no, then the mindset must be aligned with your discernment across the board. By allowing a falsity to be displayed and paraded around the school, you teach children that truth is not existent, facts are not real, and biology is a lie. You fail at your job, your only job, by confusing children and teaching them untruths and to coddle a grown man playing dress up as a woman. If you were to address me as a cat right now, it's as ridiculous as when you say Miss Bixler. A grown man's voice comes thundering over the...
Thank you.
There you go. Might be the best video I've seen on the whole trans thing. And again, I've said this a million times. If you're 18 or older and you're an adult in America and I believe in freedom and liberty, I believe you could dress however you want and call yourself whatever you want. You can't make me call you that. You can't make me believe that you're that. But I respect the fact that you can do it. The problem is the ideology of all these stupid genders and stupid pronouns and stupid, fantasy land stuff, the ideology is that you need me to act like you are. I don't care if you act like it. Again, I'm for freedom and liberty. Do what you want. But the fact that you need me to act like it's real, and then now we can bestow that upon our kids who are not 18 years old yet, and they do have to listen to authority, and make them believe that what you're saying is true, that's the problem. Your thoughts, 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Stay right here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
Sam, you okay?
That was really funny.
How do you spell that pronoun?
PHFAAARZZT. I think that's pretty. I think that's how you do it. What's that?
I think there's an H at the end.
there is an H. You're right. Sorry. What's going on, people? Hopefully you got a good laugh out of that. I'm sure some people were driving off the road. Glad to have you here. Sebastian, the 100 bits. Mom Ham, the 100 bits. Sebastian, another 100 bits. Sebastian, another 100 bits. I appreciate that. Thank you. I do believe that we have a hype train available if you were so inclined. Appreciate you hanging out. If you're new here, make sure you click on that heart and get a follow to the channel. Then click on that bell. That's going to give you a notification. Okay?
I sent you a story.
Come on, that's not really a thing, is it?
I heard about it the other day.
The heck?
Yeah.
And then when spring comes around, okay, see ya. That's it.
Bye.
Wow.
Hang up the old coat and
Move along, I guess. Patriot, the 500 bits. Good to see you, brother. Thank you. Gem Collector, the 200. Thank you very much. Got that hype train going. Joe Pallet, the 100 bits. Thank you. Witch, the 500. Thank you. Patriot, another 200. Thank you, brother. Red Leg, the gifted sub. Thank you, Red Leg. Thank you. Eagleman with the 100 bits. Z-Carp, the 1,000 bits. Mom Ham, the 200. Let's go. Mr. Underhill, the 200. Good to see you, Mr. Underhill. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're at 95% on level 3. Let's go. Nice hype train. Let's go. I hope I said it right. 2,000 from Underhill. I thought I said appreciate that. But yeah, 2,000. Thank you. Cream Mini Cooper with the gifted sub to I'm a Cat too. Awesome. Thank you. Patriot, you've been more than over the top with your support. Bridge has always been great as well. Thank you. Come on, Bridge. It helps out the community. Glad to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you. We'll take your phone calls in a moment. Remember what my pronouns are, though, when you call in. Be very careful about that. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. I didn't know about tart cherry and how helpful it can be with your health, especially if you work out a lot like I do. I was at the gym today, and you're looking to build muscle and get yourself in shape and help out your cardiovascular, but you always end up getting some inflammation. And it turns out tart cherry gummies from the makers of Super Beats Heart Chews, it's an easy way to reduce inflammation from exercise and support your metabolic health. These gummies are made with a clinically studied tart cherry extract that's up to 40 times more concentrated than many others that are the same kind of extract. Just 2 tart cherry gummies are the antioxidant equivalent of 60 juice or 100 cherries, and they're vegan, non-GMO. I love that they've gotten 0 sugar. That's big time for me, and they're delicious. Formulated by a team of scientists led by a Nobel Prize-winning doctor, tart cherry has been clinically studied to support metabolic health. So why not try them out? 100% guarantee. You don't like them, you send them back after 90 days. Bottom line is you're going to keep them. Get up to 35% off right now, plus free shipping at mytartcherry.com/PAGS. Their best offer available anywhere, mytartcherry.com/PAGS, up to 35% off tart cherry gummies. mytartcherry.com/PAGS. Make that happen and make it happen right now. We go to the phone lines, 888-941-PAGS. Do you agree with me that if you want to live that way and dress like a chick or dress like a dude and you're the opposite gender, whatever, the problem I have is that we've got this very strong push by a minority, but they're loud, that we all have to believe that they are the gender they're dressing to be or that a surgery makes them look more like. I don't care how you live. You live however you want. I'm not judging you. Other than if you ask me what's really going on, I'll say, well, there's a mental issue. There's a disconnect between what's actually happening physiologically, biologically, and in your mind. And that hopefully can be worked out. But to then say the adult can now tell children in an educational setting, this really is a woman when it's not. That's what the parent was talking about. And I think that she did a great job with that. We go to the phone line. It's going to be Anna. Anna, what's going on? Hi.
Hey, so today, for whatever reason, was a breaking point for me as far as the gender issue. I made a decision in my mind that, like, I'm done with that. You're a man or you're a woman. You can say whatever you want to say. That's fine. You can make your choice. But I'm done with, having to walk on eggshells in my life about, it's someone coming into my business and I have to, say no gender or whatever. But just on another note, I just saw something on someone's car today that was so funny. So they had LGBT, the letters. L was the Statue of Liberty. B was a beer. G was a gun. And T was Trump. And I just thought, that sums it all up,
It does. And you and I agree. I mean, at some point in our society, we need to stop worrying about what gender I'm supposed to call somebody that will make them feel better about the decision they've made in their own lives. Listen, Anna, I'm too busy to worry about all that crap.
Yeah, and me too. Like, I'm not going to live my life trying to worry about what other people think. And again, walking on eggshells, like, am I going to offend someone? You know what? I don't care anymore. I'm done with that. So I'm just going to be who I am. If they want to be something else, that's fine. But you know what? Don't push that on me. I'm not going to deal with that anymore.
100%. I love it. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. It's very interesting what she's saying because we're supposed to be extra careful and walk on eggshells to not offend the people that are making this decision, yet they don't mind if they offend us with the decision they've made. It is so interesting because the oh-so-tolerant, oh-so-accepting, and the inclusive crowd isn't. It just isn't. It's like Men at Mitness. I talk about it all the time. The no-judgment zone. Oh, that's bull. They judge people like me because I want to be bigger, stronger, and make some noise when I work out. So, yeah, it's always the opposite of what they say they want. As long as you're doing it for them, they don't have to do it for you. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Chip Roy when we come back. Stay right here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
What's happening, people? Good to see you. Good to have you. Let's see, that hype train still happening. Looks like the hype train ended. Actually, still going. Level 10. Holy crap. What's going on? Rich, the 100 bits. Thank you. Mini Cooper, the gifted sub to I'm a Cat. Snapper J, the 20 gifted subs. Snapper, come on now. Appreciate that. Snapper J, everybody give me an SJ in the chat right now. You got a gifted sub from Snapper J. Make sure you say thank you. It's amazing, my brother. Thank you very much for that. Bag Buck, the 25 gifted subs. Come on, Bag. I want to see BB in the chat as well. BB, the 25 gifted subs. We're bringing in new Pags peeps. We're over 2,300 now, which is amazing. So make sure you say thank you. We've got a gifted sub from anybody who's being so generous and supporting the stream as they are. Joe Pallet, the 10 gifted subs as well. Joe, thank you. I appreciate that. Underhill comes in with 10 gifted as well. Thank you very much. So, man, you guys are going nuts. Level 10 is beautiful. Thank you very much. We've got a great interview coming up here as well. But thank you again. Snapper J, Bagbuck, Joe Pallet, Mr. Underhill, going nuts with the subs. Thank you again. Gem Collector, the 200 bits. Thank you, Gem. Appreciate that. Let's go. Will we keep it going? 10's nice. I'm just saying, but 11's a little nicer. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to promote the interview. Thank you so much for that support. Amazing Hype Train. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sebastian, the gifted sub to Riley Girl. Appreciate that. Thank you. The level 10, 68 gifted subs, and 6,300 bits is beautiful. Can't thank you enough. Again, make sure you thank the person that gave you a gifted sub. They're spending real money to make sure that you get a sub, okay? So make sure that you check that out. Mama Pags, good to see you, Mom. Welcome. You know, the show started an hour and a half ago. I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, you gave birth to me and all, but you still owe me all 3 hours every day. Let's do some radio. Thanks again for all that support. Let's go. Great to have you along for the ride. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Really glad to have this guy back. He is District 21 Republican in the great state of Texas. I voted for him last week. He's my representative. It's Chip Roy. Chip, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing great, Joe. I'm up here in D.C. Doing my job. I'm looking forward to get back to Texas for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to having you back here. I think we're actually going to stay in Texas for Thanksgiving this year as well, and that'll be great. Texas gets it done right. I want to talk to you about maybe the move to use the Constitution of the U.S. to call it an invasion in Texas. We'll talk about that in a minute. Florida got it done right. I think Ohio did a very good job in the midterm elections, but things weren't as red. Certainly wasn't a wave. It might have been a trickle as we thought it might be. Thank God you guys get the House back, but not by 30 or 40 seats. It's going to be by a handful of seats. How are you feeling today after the midterm?
Well, look, you just hit it, right? There was a lot of high points outside of D.C., outside of the swamp, right? We saw Ron DeSantis just crush it, right? We saw, Lee in Tennessee, Abbott in Texas. We saw even Lee Zeldin make a strong run in New York, which was all uphill climb, but he flipped 4 seats because he ran on crime. Look, I think the key distinction is you have to run on a broad, bold agenda. You and I talked on your show about my belief, and I was careful not to hit it too hard, but my belief that the commitment wasn't that strong. It wasn't that specific. I think you have to have a bold agenda in order to win. Now, look, I kind of bought into the hype the last couple of weeks. I thought it was going to be a 230 plus, 235 plus result. It was always an uphill climb to be able to get a huge number of seats because, once you have redistricting, we already had a certain number. We were starting at 212. It wasn't like 2010 when we were starting at 180 something. And so, you had to go work it hard. But it's not enough for Republicans to just say, oh, well, it was redistricting and, you just have to accept that. No, we have to go inspire, win minds and hearts. Ron DeSantis won 60-40 in Florida because he fought wokeism. He took on Disney. He stood against COVID tyranny. He had a bold agenda. He sent illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. Governor Abbott got, I think, some wind in his sails for leading.
Yeah.
The Republican conference didn't do that, and thus in the Senate didn't do it either. In fact, last point, Mitch McConnell fought any effort to put an agenda out. He said, let's just run against Biden. And Kevin McCarthy put together a commitment, which I applaud him for, but I don't think it was that strong. I think you have to paint with bold colors, and that's what I think the difference is.
Well, I read that commitment when it came out, and I thought it was generic and weak. I'll say it, and that bothers me. But let me ask you specifically. I'm from Long Island, New York originally, and 4 seats in New York go red, which historically would never, ever, ever, never go red, Chip. Yet Mayra Flores and Cassie Garcia didn't win here. What did they do right, and what did we miss here?
Well, one, I'll go back to what I said. Lee Zeldin ran a great campaign focused on crime in New York, number one. Number two, I think some of our states where liberals have been dominating, where life is really miserable, more people are kind of responding to that. Some people are still a little fat and happy in states like Texas and some other places where they kind of take for granted the freedoms that we have, and you got to get out and go win the election. But on Mayra and Cassie, look, they ran good races. Mayra is still a congresswoman, obviously.
Yeah.
We had votes over 40%. Look, Beto underperformed in South Texas in the Rio Grande Valley compared to 2018 when he ran against Ted. We won a state board of education seat. We won a state rep seat. We won Monica de la Cruz. There were a lot of upsides. Look, I'm not an apologist. We needed to do better, but it was always an uphill climb for Cassie. Mayra, we thought we were going to do a little better. I think some of the polling was a little off, but in the move of trajectory, winning South Texas and Hispanic votes, we made a lot of progress. But I'm going to tell you, we got a lot more work to do to go win minds and hearts, and you got to have a bold agenda to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're right about Mayra actually cut the Democrat plus in half. It was plus 16, I think. She got it down to 8, something like that. And Cassie, I thought, would do much better. I think it is horrible to have a guy who's been in there since 1987 who hasn't gotten the job done continue in that seat. That doesn't make sense. Maybe in 2 years we can make sense of it. It's U.S. Representative Chip Roy. Leadership on the left fights. They roll up their sleeves and they do what Chip Roy does. There aren't enough Chip Roys in the U.S. House of Representatives. You've got Gates, you've got Jordan, you've got MTG, people that we've already mentioned, who I think, Kat Kamek is amazing. I think that there are people who are fighting really, really hard. And then you got people who just want to get along, which doesn't make sense to me. Chip, at what point will your co-members of the U.S. House of Representatives realize, on the right, that they've got to roll their sleeves up and play the game as hard as the left does? Will they do that?
We'll see, and that's one of the things I'm advocating for. As you know, I nominated my friend Andy Biggs for Speaker, not because it was a shot at my friend Kevin. It's that I think we need change. I think we need to change the way we do things. And unfortunately, right now, too many of my colleagues think that the status quo of the way we do things is acceptable. It is not. There's a reason we're $32 trillion in debt. There's a reason our borders are wide open. There's a reason that we're engaged in endless conflicts abroad. There's a reason that the defense industrial complex has us jammed through National Defense Authorization Acts, even though they have draft our daughters, even though they've got provisions in there that are woke, even though they have things like, last year, gun flag laws, red flag laws. Look, we need to stop doing things the way we've always done them. We need to stop having a small group of power brokers make all the decisions. And I'm telling you right now, there is a block of us here that are not going to just go along with the coronation. And we got a lot of work to do between now and January 3rd to get united. But just saying you're united is not enough. I do not want to wake up and have a bunch of cardinals jamming through crappy bills like we did in 2018 under Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
And I need to see evidence that we're going to change things for me to get on board with the current leadership structure. And they're a long ways away, let me tell you, Joe.
U.S. Representative Chip Roy, District 21, Republican, great state of Texas. Nancy Pelosi, in my opinion, is not a very good Catholic. She keeps saying how Catholic she is. She wants to kill all the unborn babies she can. She has spent money like a drunken sailor. She's somebody who appears to me wants to live like she's a monarch and has for the past 20, 30 years. Having said all of that, she was very effective as the House Speaker. Extremely. Whatever she wanted to get done, she got done. Does Kevin McCarthy have that in him? First of all, is it a foregone conclusion he's going to be the speaker? And if so, does he have that in him? I know the Freedom Caucus is going to push him. You're going to push him. Others will push him. Will he get it done? Because the vast majority of us believe he might be Paul Ryan again, 2.0.
Well, let's first start with the vote that we had on Tuesday. As I said, I got up and nominated my friend Andy Biggs.
Yeah.
We knew that Kevin would get a majority of the vote. Now, that's all it takes to get the nomination of your party to be the speaker. But here's the thing. There's a vote on the floor on January 3rd, and someone has to earn the votes necessary, which is usually on 218. It depends on how many people are present.
Right.
And so someone's got to go earn that. And I'm going to tell you right now, no one has 218. And I will tell you that on the vote on Tuesday, there were 188 for Kevin, there were 31 for Andy, and there were 5 others.
Nice.
So we're continuing to have a conversation about where we need to go. I believe we need to see very specific change about how the Rules Committee works, about how bills get to the floor, about what we're going to put up, about whether we're going to use the power of the purse to demand that we secure the border and vaccine mandates, and to ensure that we're going to do the things the American people want us to do. Until we see something like that, I can promise you there's a block of us who are not going to just give our vote away at the point when we need to demand change.
It is good. I'm glad to hear that it's not a foregone conclusion. I'm glad to hear if Kevin McCarthy should be the guy, and I've interviewed him, he's a very nice guy, but if he should be the guy, he's got this to your face, I will do this. Because Nancy Pelosi said that, and then she did it. And again, I didn't like what she did, but she said she would do it, and she followed through. She was very effective, even though you and I disagreed with what she did. It's Chip Roy. Chip, right before we started, I saw a back and forth between Marjorie Taylor Greene and some reporter who said that according to sources, the vast majority of the fentanyl that's killing 100,000 Americans a year that comes across the border is being brought across the border by U.S. citizens. Now, MTG hit back and said, what's your source? He said, the Cato Institute. She said, when you have the Border Patrol tell us those numbers are true, then I'll listen to you. We don't listen to the Cato Institute. What do you know about that? Is that going to be the push by the left now that it's not illegal aliens that are bringing it, it's American citizens somehow bringing in the fentanyl?
Well, of course, because they have no leg to stand on about what's actually happening at the border. Marjorie was right to ask that question. What I'll tell you is the answer is pretty simple. Border Patrol is telling us the truth. But I can tell you what's happening. The fentanyl is coming in all manners of ways. It's coming in between the ports of entry when we don't actually intercept it, and it's coming through illegally. It's probably coming in from a number of people who are coming in through our ports of entry, whether they're American citizens or whether they're folks who are here illegally. The fundamental problem is this. Border Patrol has been turned into, by this administration, a processing organization that processes thousands of people a day. We do not have Border Patrol agents patrolling the border. So you don't have Border Patrol agents able to do their job to intercept the narcotics coming in. So it's coming in because we have a broken border that the Democrats are allowing to be flooded by people who don't have a legal right to be here. So that's why fentanyl is coming in.
Right.
So the Cato Institute can blather all day long that it's coming in at ports of entry by American citizens. I don't believe that because Border Patrol agents are saying otherwise. But even if it's true, I mean, it's partly true, But even if it's fully true, fine. The reason that we can't patrol the border and stop the flow is because they're over in a tent processing about 12 to 1,500 people in a tent in Eagle Pass, 7,000 a day. It's total garbage, and they're full of it when they're trying to blame it on, oh, it's just American citizens rolling it across the border. It's because our borders are wide open.
Yeah. And well, Mayorkas said it's secure. He just said that 2 days ago. The border's not secure, Chip, really?
Yeah, and that SOB said that to me and lied to me under oath in the House Judiciary Committee. My friend Dan Bishop from North Carolina asked him the same question in Homeland Security yesterday, and that same SOB lied to Dan Bishop. And we need to haul him in front of the Judiciary Committee and excoriate him there, but we should impeach him. And I'm tired of hearing Republicans going, oh, well, I don't believe it's a high crime and misdemeanor. Hold on. It is a high crime and misdemeanor. It is a complete violation of the public trust. He has violated his oath. He has violated his duty to follow the law. He is thereby endangering the American people who are dying from fentanyl because he's refusing to secure the border. That's on him, and he should be impeached.
Well, I tell you what, I can make I'm not a lawyer, but I can make a case that he's aiding and abetting the cartels. Are you kidding me? By turning a blind eye, by not having the support of those who answer to him, by telling everybody in this country that it's secure, knowing that 5 million came in that we know about in the past 2 years, I think that's impeachable from the moment he wakes up to the moment he goes to bed. It's Chip Roy, great state of Texas. Let me show you a tweet that you sent out earlier that I retweeted and liked. A no-activist federal judge has blocked the use of Title 42 at our southern border. This crucial policy was used 80,000 times last month alone and has been the last line of defense for CBP under Biden's DHS. Congress now can no longer sit on their hands. We need border security now. Chip, what are you talking about? 80,000 people were forced to stay in Mexico because of the pandemic and because of the health risks that otherwise would have come in 1 month? 80,000?
Yeah, no, that's right. And that's actually the reality, right? So when you talk about the people who are accepted and that we apprehend at the border, it was like 240,000 in October. That means 80,000 of those are turned away under Title 42 because it's literally the only power remaining that is able to be enforced under this administration. Even the Democrats, like Dick Durbin and others, are panicked that if they get rid of Title 42, that they can't even process all the people coming in, as they are doing for the remaining group, right? So the 160,000, they're processing and releasing a lot of them.
Right.
But the fact is, this Judge Sullivan, issued this order. Now, I'm told, I was on the floor a minute ago, and I saw a text, so I can't fully confirm this, but I think it was stayed. So I think that the injunction by Sullivan was stayed while the administration's lawyers defend the law and defend the use of Title 42, because even they, as crazy as they are, recognize that if they get rid of Title 42, the zone gets completely flooded and you end up getting 17,000 a day, not just 7,000 a day. This judge is insane. The law is fine. But here's the bigger thing, Joe. We can't rely on Title 42 to secure our border. You secure our border with a bill like the one I introduced that requires that you turn away or fully detain for the entirety of an adjudication of some legitimate asylum claim. Otherwise, you're gone, but you will not be released. You completely detain or you turn away. And you don't, that's basically what Title 42 is, but we shouldn't have to rely on a pandemic health code, Title 42, to secure our border partially.
3 last things with Chip Roy. Number one, yesterday Chuck Schumer made the dumbest announcement I've ever heard, that we need to give a path to citizenship for the 11 million or whatever the number is illegal aliens that are here because of the low birth rate in America. My response, of course, was, well, we've killed tens of millions of unborn children since 1973. How many of them could have been in the workforce, Chuck? And of course, he wouldn't give me an answer even if I asked him to his face. So that's the dumb thing they're going to do now. You're right. I agree. Your bill should go through, turn everybody away, except for the 10% maybe that really truly have an asylum claim. But there are 11 to 20 million here already, Chip. What do you do with them? I want them gone because they didn't do it right.
Look, I believe you have to start with the rule of law and enforcing the rule of law. That has been my position. It's why I have opposed amnesty from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. We saw that in the 86 amnesty under Reagan, which he regretted, right?
They lied to him. They told him that they'd uphold the law. They lied.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they'll do. We're seeing it right now in real time. They refuse to enforce the law right now as we speak. So why on earth are you going to say, oh, sure, yeah, we're going to go along with you and we're going to grant amnesty to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 11 million, 15 million, and then trust you to actually start securing the border? That's insanity. You got to secure the border. That is an absolute non-negotiable first step to any conversation. Then you have a conversation about what you're going to do about future flow and what you do about those that are here illegally. Look, we had some good conversations about going back to your home country and reapplying, future flow, figuring out guest worker situations so that you can match labor supply with corporate interests. Got lots of bills to do those things and have those conversations. But under no circumstances should Republicans be talking about amnesty when we have not remotely secured the border of the United States. That is a non-negotiable deal breaker.
Second thing, can the House of Representatives, now in the hands of Republicans, force, by any sort of constitutional move, the administration or the executive to enforce the law? The law was passed legally, legitimately. You don't have to reform immigration. It's already on the books. We can do it the right way in 1986. Why can't we force the executive, or do you have the power now to force the executive to do what constitutionally they're supposed to do?
Yeah, well, first of all, they should be enforcing the law. The laws on the books require them to actually have operational control of the border, to use the laws to secure it, not to allow asylum and parole to be used as these tiny exceptions to swallow the rule and allow everybody to flood the zone. That's what's happening. We can actually force them to do the right thing. It's called, this is going to blow your mind, the power of the purse. The founders gave us the powers of the purse. James Madison, Federalist 58. It is the most important power, most effective tool you can give to the people's house to check the tyranny of the executive branch. That's my paraphrase of Madison's words. We should use that power purse. Under no circumstances should we be writing checks to fund the federal government, the federal bureaucracy, to a Homeland Security Department that refuses to secure Homeland. So we should hold it, and we should just make them blink. Don't talk to me about government shutdowns. We should provide a funding bill out of the House that would do exactly what it's supposed to do, with riders that demand that they secure the border, like my bill. And if they won't do it, they don't get the money.
Yeah. Chip, we're frankly out of time. I don't know if you can do this in 10 seconds. Good move, bad move, what Abbott did here in Texas, declaring an invasion.
Good move from the standpoint of recognizing it's an invasion, but if it doesn't come with the teeth that you actually have the power under the Constitution to use the power of Texas to turn away, then it's not going to do anything. You can't call it something and then not act on it. So my request would be go act on what you just declared.
Always great to talk to you. Great insight, great information. Follow him on Twitter. He's always posting great stuff. It's U.S. Representative Chip Roy. Chip, thanks a million. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Joe. You have a blessed Thanksgiving. You and your great family. God bless.
Buddy, right back at you. We're back after this. Stay right here.
Joe Pags.
One in the chat, one in the chat. If you like the interview. Hello, Cindy. Good to see everybody in here. If you're not following yet, make sure you click on follow. That's the heart button. And then click on the bell to get notifications when I go live. If you're on YouTube, and you know you are, even if you're lying and saying you're not, if you're on YouTube, Joe Pags Radio. We want you to have to send me a plaque. We're at about 27,000 now. So we're pushing our way up to 100,000. Let's go. Obviously, just a quick bit of time here coming back, Polo. Wayne, is 2-1 in Canada? Is that what the story is here? Or are you drinking freaking bagged milk again right now? What are you doing? I think Wayne's looking to get banned again because he had something to talk about last night about getting banned. I am going to take next week off. I will be off next week, so I appreciate all your support. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. I'm going to take next week off, although that doesn't mean I will not be popping on here. Make sure that you've got the bell rung, and make sure you got the heart pressed, because you never know. Jump on here, do some singing, jump on here, do some politics for an hour or two, whatever. I may do that. We'll see. But as of right now, I have nothing planned. I got to tell you something. You guys kept me buoyed and kept me lifted through this whole midterms thing, but it's been rough. It has been a rough haul. I'm exhausted mentally. Maybe, Lynn. I don't know. But he's supporting Andy Biggs, so. You want me to live stream us eating turkey? Ruth, it's a great question, but I've got a detox. I probably won't talk at all for a week. Somebody help R Nutter. Looks like R Nutter is trying to buy subs in bits. Somebody help out R Nutter. I don't know what that means, but Monica, Sam, Gabby, whoever wants to help out. Iowa, I've done my level best. Hopefully we helped to affect positively the midterms. It didn't turn out exactly like we wanted, but we at least got the House back. I'll be honest, I don't remember the last time I took a day off. I don't. Maybe when I had COVID, I think I took one day off. Thank you, Gabby. Yeah, R Nutter couldn't figure out bits or subs or something. By the way, that's my daughter, Gabby. She is a great streamer as well. I'm going to give her a shout out. If she is streaming, I will send it to her after my show. Click on that heart button on the top of the chat right now. You'll be able to follow her. Appreciate that. She said her name was Lindsey Graham. Not sure if that is her name, but that's what she said. What I like about Chip Roy and others in the House of Representatives, they're not just saying things. He really wants to do what he says. And if you send an appropriations bill in that takes away the 87,000 IRS agents that nobody wants and nobody needs, and the other side says no, then it's on them. It's not on you. And I believe that he'll do that. Keep it here. Much more to come on the Joe Pags Show.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
Gabby is 100% going to be on tonight. She will be on tonight. I think what she wasn't sure was about tomorrow because I might be traveling. But I think that was in the air. But tonight, I think, is a no-doubter. And Gabby can confirm that. She's in here. But I don't think there's any doubt she's streaming tonight. We didn't think free speech would be tossed away. So we logged on to social every day. Then they banned us for saying things we wanted to. And then Musk bought all. What will they do? Disinformation. Disinformation. Governance board. They'll use their power to squelch us more. I tell you, if you try to say Trump's a good dude, and how right you think Tucker is every night, you'll get ghost banned. They hide you when you don't know it. The thought police is here to have a fit. Disinformation. Disinformation. Information Governance Board. Your digital load. And it's all run by a woman firmly on the left. Got it all wrong on Trump, Hill, Biden, and the rest. When you log on, just realize she'll be watching you. So be careful your post doesn't attract that fool. Bring back the good old days. Can't be in fear. The first still protects what we say. Bring back the good old days. Bring back the good old days. Bring back the good old days. What's a woman? Why you asking me? What's a woman? Hey, that's biology. What's a woman? I don't believe you'd ask me about that. I was appointed 'cause I'm black. Mercy. What's a woman? I can't really answer. What's a woman? Could be Miss or Mr. What's a woman? Why are you asking with a clenched fist? I'm not a biologist. Wow. What's a woman? Let me think. What's a woman? My chances will sink. What's a woman? I can't answer you. What's a woman? Why'd you ask? What's a woman? Don't be crass. What's a woman? If I answer, I lose. 'Cause I need to kiss the left's ass. Back off me, blackbird. You'll block my path. What's a woman? Can't we just move on? What's a woman? Could be Sharon or Tom. What's a woman? I'm here to get this job, you see. You'll get no answer from me. You see, a chick can be a he or she. Swim with the guys wasn't very good. Backstroke free or the fly, beat them, he never would. Then came the big idea, he knew he'd have a chance. Said that he was a chick, well, wearing big boy pants. Dudes in the water, beating all the girls. Dudes in the water, don't be fooled by his curls. Went from to the top. Went from Bill to Leah. When will this lunacy stop? Took home the championship. Stole it from the top girl. Stands a foot above them. We're in a woke world. Dudes on the water. Radio.
This is the Joe Pags Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
Yes, indeed, do. Glad to have you. Thanks a lot for stopping by. There's a ton going on, tons to get to. Will they finally do something about Hunter Biden? Well, that's a question I'd like to hear answered. They're acting like they will. And I know they're jumping the gun a little bit because the House is not in the hands of the Republicans yet. That's not going to happen until January. I think January 3rd is the day. So they're already making announcements about committees and hearings and meetings and everything else. There's like an 8-minute piece of video that I'm not going to play, but it's from Representative Comer. And basically, Joe Biden was part of it. He's the big guy. He's going down. He's corrupt. He's on the take. I mean, the whole thing was like, okay. And I was surprised because they came out and sort of announced this today instead of waiting until January 3rd. Carrie's got a full story on that. We've got that for you. Plus, we have campus reform at the bottom of the hour. There's a lot going on this hour, lots to get to, lots to talk about on the Joe Pags Show for your Thursday. Feeling all right?
Mel. Melly.
I'm going to send that to him. I've got to.
Seems I got to have a change.
And I know Mel's shocker. What he's going to say is can you tell her to stop?
No.
Melly
needs to be top. Needs to be in the center.
That's Chocolate Voice, her own self. That's Polo. That's Sam. Melly Mel. He's the quietest guy. Could the lady stop saying that? Could the lady leave me alone? Mark, Don, and Mel, let's go. Bring it home. Feeling all right on the Thursday. Yes, indeed, you do. It's a lot of music. A lot of music three guys are making. A power trio. I think the best one ever. And again, I don't want to hear about your opinion doesn't matter. I'm telling you it's the best power trio ever.
Wow.
What about Cream? Weren't they better? No, shut up. I don't want to hear it. It's Grand Funk Railroad.
Actually,
I have spoken.
Okay.
That's the way it is. All right. So there is a lot going on. And the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing. Carrie, can you believe it's been more than 2 years now since they hid the story of the Hunter Biden laptop?
I know.
It was only 3 or 4 weeks before the election in 2020. Many people have said, I've seen numbers as high as 15% now, say they would not have voted for Joe Biden had they known about the laptop that implicates Joe Biden, his brother Jim, his son Hunter, his sister, I don't know her name, but they're all implicated in this laptop, and it was verified to be his, but you had 51 either current or former intelligence agents say, oh, it's got all the earmarks of Russian disinformation, when they all knew that it didn't. That was a lie to make sure that Biden could be elected. And now, you know, if you've got a brain and you're looking for 30,000 feet up, you know that there is a huge corruption problem between the Biden administration and Ukraine that keeps on benefiting. And like every day, this little guy, Zelensky, this little Dancing with the Stars guy from Ukraine, he's got another $5 billion. I need $5 billion for infrastructure. I need $10 billion for electricity. I need $38 billion. They asked for $38 billion more yesterday. And we're just doling it out like we're a bunch of idiots. And then somehow this FTX guy, this crypto guy who's now broke and went bust, somehow he's connected and possibly getting some of the money back from Ukraine, taxpayer money that was sent to Ukraine by Biden, and then using Carrie, the number I heard yesterday was this guy spent $50 billion on the midterm elections for Democrats.
Wow.
$50 billion.
$50 billion?
And he's second place, by the way, to George Soros, who spent even more than that. So, I mean, this thing stinks. So, will the House of Representatives, that will be in the hands of Republicans soon, will they do something about the Hunter Biden laptop? What do you have?
From CNN, after clinching the majority in the House of Representatives in the midterm elections, top Republicans on Thursday outlined a broad range of investigative targets focused on President Joe Biden and his family's business dealings. In the 118th Congress, this committee will evaluate the status of Joe Biden's relationship with his family's foreign partners and whether he is a president who is compromised or swayed by foreign dollars and influence, said Representative James Comer of Kentucky, the top Republican on the House Oversight Committee. I want to be clear, this is an investigation of Joe Biden, and that's where the committee will focus in this next Congress. In a wide-ranging news conference flanked by GOP Representative Jim Jordan, who's expected to become chair of the House Judiciary Committee, and other Republicans on the Oversight Committee, Comer said Republicans have made connections between the president's son, Hunter Biden, and the president that they believe requires further investigation. Comer said his team has spoken with multiple whistleblowers who say they were involved in schemes involving the Biden family, reviewed Hunter Biden's laptop, and received previously unknown transactions. Comer is specifically zeroing in on more than 100 bank activity reports, known as suspicious activity reports, that are allegedly related to the Biden family, and says the Treasury Department has ignored his repeated requests when Republicans were in the minority to hand over them. So far, Comer says he has only seen 2 of those reports, and he renewed his request for the remainder of them today. Such reports are not always indicative of criminal activity or wrongdoing. As part of his investigation, Comer said, we would love to talk to people in the Biden family, specifically Hunter and Joe Biden. The White House said the investigations are politically motivated and a waste of time.
Okay. Well, of course they're going to say that because it's about him. Comer was standing in front of 4 pictures as well where Joe Biden said he'd never met any of these people, didn't know what job Hunter was doing over there. And there were pictures of Joe Biden like playing golf and shaking hands, hanging out with these guys. He knew exactly who they were. It'll be interesting. Now, I will take some calls on that, Sam, if you want to open the phone lines. 888-941-7247, 888-941-PAGS, PAGS. Or you can go to joepags.com, joepags.com. Go there, scroll down to the bottom, click on contact, send in an email. The team wanted me to remind you that if you're sending really long emails, I can't go through them all. Send me a sentence or two, and if it makes sense for the show, they'll get it to me, and then we'll talk about it, or we'll respond to it or whatever. But if you're sending me big, long, like stream of consciousness emails, I love you. I love you that you're that engaged. I'm not going to read them because I have to get away from the computer at some point. So make it short, make it fast, make it snappy, and I want you to take part without a doubt. You could also go on social media, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, YouTube, Instagram. We try to be as diverse as we can when it comes to the social media because unlike me, you guys probably don't have all of them. I have all of them. So I probably have the one that you like the most. You know what's interesting, Kara? I haven't used Snapchat in 8 years.
Yeah.
Just got an email from Snapchat. Good news. Bob127 is now following me on Snapchat. Like,
okay.
what is that?
Good to know.
So
Poor Bob's not going to get anything new.
Nobody's followed me in 8 years on there, or Snapchat just decided to do that. I don't know the login, the password. I have an account there. I haven't used it in almost a decade. So that's pretty interesting. Now, having said that, and I will take calls on that, Sam, I do, Carrie, because I know that you're busy at the bottom of the hour. I do want to bring a story, also reported by CNN, that I consider to be the dumbest story of the day. Now, any idea, have you seen the news wires today? Well, it might be the dumbest story of the day. And it's about a woman who's written a book.
No, that I don't guess I have.
A famous woman
Uh-huh.
has written a book.
Okay.
In the book, she admits something that might be the dumbest thing I've heard this week. So I've got 2 categories, the dumbest story of the day, the dumbest thing I've heard all. Okay, so this is, and one is Alison Camerata, and I only know that because she used to be on Fox. I don't know who the guy is, but it's a black man, and Alison Camerata, for those who don't know, is a white woman talking about a book that was written by former First Lady Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama is opening up about how she had to manage her image as the nation's first black first lady, particularly when it came to how she styled her hair.
So she told an audience on her latest book tour that she decided to wear her hair straight instead of in braids, as she would have preferred, because she felt that Americans were not ready to accept her natural hair. Mrs. Obama
me just stop it there for a second, because that's, again, this is unbelievably stupid. And they're showing pictures of her wearing, I guess, extensions and straight hair. She's calling it straight hair. I guess she's not calling it white people hair or something. She's calling it straight hair. And she was forced to do this. Now, let me remind you, Barack Obama is a man who identifies as black, although his mother was whiter than I am. So he identifies with his African-American half and has always had a short-cropped hairdo that would be indicative of a black guy. So why he wouldn't have to for her to make sense in this claim, Michelle Obama, her husband would have had to do hair like mine, which he didn't do. So we could somehow accept a black guy, but not black woman hair? Oh, shut up. But it does continue.
Said she told herself, let me keep my hair straight. Let's get health care passed. Obama is currently on a tour for her third book.
By the way, they're showing a picture of the book cover. Carrie, you're not going to believe this.
What?
On the cover of the book, her hair, guess what style it is?
It's straight.
Right. It's not braided. It's not more black woman hair as the intro suggested she wants to wear. She's wearing straight hair like we've always seen her wear. I mean, here's somebody who is completely confused or completely deceptive. I'm not sure which one it is.
Light we carry, overcoming in uncertain times, which hits store shelves this week. I totally get it. I think I understand that. I think she's right.
Yeah.
I often feel America can't handle my natural hair either. I mean, I think honestly.
Says the white woman, Ellison Camerata.
What kind of hair does she have?
I don't know. It looks like
What?
hair. I don't know. I've never seen a person who said, "Oh, look, that's white people hair. That's black people hair." I've never said that to myself. Are there some who do that? Well, clearly, yes. Michelle Obama does that. But you must be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. She has a picture on the cover of the book of herself wearing the same style of hair, generally speaking, that we've always seen her wear. And let me remind you, Michelle Obama is not some person that grew up in the ghetto. She didn't grow up in a impoverished area. She's somebody who grew up where her best friends were white girls. And she speaks like a person that has not been through that system where Ebonics was generally spoken. Like we hear when Ebonics was a big thing about 1995, something like that, 1996. Well, we all did stories on it. She doesn't speak what would be considered black or African-American vernacular English. That's literally a thing, AAVE. She doesn't speak that. She speaks proper English. She speaks English like somebody who went and got degrees in college, which she did. She speaks English like somebody who is embarrassed that she speaks English well. It's very strange. And she decided to wear that hair. I never said, oh my God, look at her hair. What I said was, oh, they're the Obamas. He wants to be the president. I never once thought to myself, he will become president because of her hair or he won't be. Now, those of you who voted for Barack Obama, was her hair a factor? I'm going to guess not. Because if it were, wouldn't his hair be a factor? So I'm going to say this again. Stupidest story of the day. Carrie, you're a news person. You ever think to yourself, wow, look at her hair?
No, I actually never did. So is she saying that that's how they got the health care passed was because of her hair?
No, her allegation is, let me wear the hair the way it will be acceptable for basically white America, and then we can get important things done like health care. In other words, she's suggesting that if she wore her natural hair, whatever it happens to be, that somehow they couldn't get good legislation done. That's how narcissistic and nuts the Obamas are. If I wore my normal hairdo in braids, they would not have let us do health care. Come on, dude. Come on, man.
Wow.
Stupid. It's just a light stupid. I can't even go with a loud one on that. It's just so stupid. I don't have that energy to yell how loudly I should with that. So again, it doesn't make any sense unless, of course, Barack Obama did the same thing and they wanted to make that claim. But here he is with a typical black guy presentation, hair, culture, skin, ethnicity, ancestry, and nobody blinked an eye. Yet for some reason they would have had a problem with her natural hair. That's stupid. Here's somebody who feels guilty that she didn't grow up and have to struggle. She feels guilty about that. And now she's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars and lives in 89% white Martha's Vineyard as they build an $8 million mansion in Hawaii, as they built some other freaking $500 million memorial to his presidency, and she still wants us to think she's oppressed. Shut up. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Stay right here.
Joe Pags.
What's happening, people? Good to have you. Good to see you. Snapper J, the 1,000 bits. The hype train completed 68 gifted subs, 6,300 bits. Somebody said they sent me some of Jeff Bezos' money. You didn't, because it would come up as a Prime sub. So you may have connected Prime or Amazon with Twitch. Now you have to actually give me the Prime sub if you wanted to give me Jeff Bezos' money. But I appreciate you, Roy. Thanks, Dougie. Good to see everybody. Hang out. We've got campus reform at the bottom of the hour. Some more nuttiness from college campuses. How could you not, Hoodie? Stick around. We've got campus reform coming up. Appreciate all of you. Hi, great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. It's the Joe Pag Show. Calls coming in about Hunter Biden's laptop. Also about the stupidest story of the day, or maybe of the week or the month. It's Michelle Obama complaining about how she couldn't wear her hair naturally because somehow, I guess, white America wouldn't accept it, which is ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. Worth millions and millions, has mansions everywhere, was the first lady for 8 years, still complaining about how horrible America is. Think about that. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Got to remind you about Eden Pure, the Thunderstorm air purifier. It's an air purifier that doesn't take up a lot of real estate in your house. You just plug it right into the wall, and it's out of the way, and it really works very, very well. With Oxy technology, it takes care of those smells, those odors that you want to get rid of, and they call it the Thunderstorm because it actually leaves a scent as if a thunderstorm just rolled through. You know how that smells? It's fresh and clean, and like everything was just wiped away. This doesn't mask the odors. It actually gets rid of them. It attacks them. I'm talking about odors like trash, litter boxes, musty basement smells, many more. Stops them from coming back well. And you don't have to worry about buying filters every month. That's an extra expense with those expensive air purifiers that you're not going to get with the Thunderstorm that's on sale right now in time for Christmas. Could make a great Christmas gift. Go right now to EdenPureDeals.com. Put in discount code PAGS3, P-A-G-S, the number 3, and get yourself a 3-pack for under $200. You're saving $200 on this deal. Again, EdenPureDeals.com. Put in discount code PAGS, the number 3. Remember, shipping is always free as well. You go to the phone lines. Justin, Denver, you think they're going to do anything about this laptop or not?
Well, Joe, sure hope so. Are they going to bring it up on prime time like they did with January 6th? And if they did, who would?
Well, obviously nobody. Justin, great question. Wouldn't that be good if they said, okay, because that's really something with some meat. The January 6th committee was a bunch of liars who wanted to stop Trump and stop his help in the midterms. The January 6th committee was not a balanced committee. It was against the rules of the House of Representatives. They wouldn't let us see the information that we were asking for as freedom of information. They wouldn't let us see the 10,000 plus hours of video that's available. Wouldn't answer questions about Ray Epps. Wouldn't answer questions about whether there are any federal agents there that day instigating things. So that was unnecessary to be covered on primetime TV, but a great question. Now that the Republicans have the House back, will they do the same thing and really use real information out of this laptop? And look, give 4 seats to the Democrats while the Republicans have 5. Go ahead, give them 4 seats. Let them sit there and try to act like there's nothing wrong with this laptop when they know that there is. It's actually a good, I know you're being funny or sarcastic, but if you sit back and think about it, that would be a very smart thing to do. Now, who would cover it? Maybe Fox, maybe. I'm not so sure the way Fox has Paul Ryan on the board. Maybe Newsmax, maybe, I don't know. Maybe OAN, not sure. Right Side Broadcasting, I don't know. I'd cover, I'd bring my popcorn. Carrie, that'd be fun to watch, wouldn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Popcorn time.
I'd be watching it, yeah.
Let me go back at it. California, Mark, talk to me. Hi.
Hey, Joe. So I'm really hoping that they get to some meat and bones here and call up, Tony Bobolinsky, and because he's been more than willing to come forward.
Yeah.
And my concern is that regardless of what they unearth, who do they hand this over to? Do they hand it over to Merrick Garland at the DOJ? Because we know he's in the bag. So, listen, like the last caller said, nobody's going to cover this. I'm concerned that nobody's going to prosecute this.
Well, Mark, it's a good
course,
question. It
would
be a special prosecutor, and Biden would have no say.
Well, and then, of course, ultimately, Biden could pardon everybody involved.
Well, he could, but then that would basically be an admission of guilt before we even heard the evidence. So that would be interesting as well. Mark, I appreciate that. I think he wouldn't pardon because that might be an open door to, well, wait a second. We have all the evidence here. We have all the information here. Okay, Hunter Biden is pardoned. You can't pardon yourself. Then you're going to have to face the music. And I don't think Joe Biden would do that. I think Joe Biden is about Joe Biden. I don't think he cares who he burns on the way, including his daughter, including his son, including his brother if he had to. Yeah, it's an interesting question. But you would get somebody who would be a special prosecutor, almost like Durham, and you would have him do it. That person would have to be approved, I believe, by the House and Senate. But you definitely wouldn't hand it to the DOJ that would be implicated in hiding this laptop for 2 years now. They've had it since 19. Remember, they've had this laptop since December of 2019, and they completely hid it and put leverage on social media to hide it in 2020. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. When we come back, it'll be a young reporter from campusreform.org, this time from Youngstown, Ohio. Going to tell us what's going on there and elsewhere on the Joe Pags Show. Stay here.
You're listening to Joe Pags.
Hey guys on the phone lines, we are going to be doing a great interview here, so keep listening and call back soon.
Good to have you here. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. May or may not have a hype train available. I'm not sure. And I do leave the alerts on now for the interviews because I'm doing it a different way to where the interviews are not subject to having those alerts and everything on them when I need a clean feed for later. I'm doing it differently. So you guys can still have the alerts even during. Sam has her own nickname. It's Sam Bam or Sammy Bammy. Do not call her Sammy Hammy, though, because that'll cause issues. Wow. Do we remember the kid's name? For some reason, Todd jumps out. Was it a Todd? Was it?
Todd was my boyfriend.
What? But he didn't call you Sammy Hammy.
No.
Who called you Sammy Hammy?
I don't know.
Punch
I
in
can't
the
remember
face,
his
kid.
name.
Punch in the face, kid.
Jerk. Who's Jerk?
Got B-slapped.
No, Todd accidentally pushed me on the bus and my tooth came out. So we broke up.
You accidentally forgot to tell me because I would have accidentally paid a visit to Todd.
No, you knew that.
Todd pushed you down?
No, he accidentally pushed me on the bus. Like, we hit a bump or something, and he, like, bumped into me or something like that.
Oh, well, that wasn't even pushing you down.
No.
No, not even Sam the Ham. Can't use ham at all with Sam.
Oh, who's calling me a ham? Band.
Mike Zink, band.
Mike, band.
And remember, my pronouns are... Might have to pull that whole segment, Sam. Post it.
I think so.
And I'll get 56 views and be mad for the rest of the week.
I don't think any of your videos have gotten less than 60 views, so...
Oh, that would be a long-form video. That wouldn't be like a short.
There were some parts that you can make a short out of.
There are about 3 minutes of hilarity in that.
Might want to pick the best 7 seconds.
I know what the thumbnail's going to be. Your face. All right, people, let's do some radio. Great to have you along for the ride. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Really glad to have another young reporter here from campusreform.org, a website I go to every day. Getting the job done. It's Austin Brown from Youngstown State University. How's it going, Austin? Good to see you.
Not too bad. Thanks for having me on, Joe.
Yeah, I appreciate you suiting up. I feel like I'm underdressed. What's going on here? I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, I try.
Hey, you're looking good. All right, I appreciate you coming on. Youngstown, we've got a station there. They love the Joe Pag show. I think there's an Italian connection. I know that you're Italian as well, so this is going to be fun. I love that area. Are you from Ohio? Are you from Youngstown? Or are you coming in from somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm from a little east in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, so it's right across the border.
Okay, and it right, because Pennsylvania, people think Philadelphia, which is closer to New York. This is far west Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this is like right on the border, like pretty close to about a half hour away from a university.
Very cool. Campusreform.org is the website. Go there every day and check out these great stories. Young correspondents like Austin are getting done for you. I know that you're not a journalism major. What are you studying there?
I'm studying finance with a minor in math and entrepreneurship.
But like you told me before we started, you like to write, and this kind of made sense.
Yeah, so I mean, just being somebody who's always been drawn to politics and that sort of thing, I thought this would be a great fit for, also catering to my hobby of writing.
It's called Youngstown State, so I'm guessing it's taxpayer subsidized. Does that mean that it's a left-leaning liberal school or no?
It is in many ways. It's not as extreme as some campuses, fortunately, but there definitely is a liberal influence there, yes.
Midterms, the big story. Everybody talking about those or not so much?
Somewhat. Now that we're back in person, it's a lot more strenuous on some people, I would say. It's not too bad in my classes at the moment, fortunately, but yeah.
Are the people who are liberal on campus freaking out that Ohio went so red? You guys really went red in Ohio, which I'm glad for. J.D. Vance winning, DeWine winning again. Florida even more red. But in Ohio, I think a lot of people were surprised that it was so red when Michigan, right across the border, is so blue. Is that a big talk or not?
Yeah, I think a lot of the college students here kind of saw this coming. They understand the demographic here, even though a lot of them are left-leaning. I think at this point they just realize there's not much they can really do about it. The red wave was coming here, and it did indeed, arrive.
It's Austin Brown. He's got an E at the end of the word Brown. So go and check out. Where are you on social media? Can people follow you or not?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. My handle's Austin_Brown_.
Nice. And again, Brown has an E at the end. Just one more question just about the atmosphere on campus. It doesn't appear as though it's as radical and far left to shut down anybody who doesn't agree with us sort of a campus. But are there congregations of people who are on the right and people on the left? And do you have an opportunity to talk it out, or are they separate entities on campus?
It's pretty separate. I actually run a chapter of Turning Point USA here at Youngstown State, as well as the chapter of Students for Life of America. Those, unfortunately, are really the only conservative voice on campus. There are a few liberal groups as well, but there's not too much dialogue between the two sides, unfortunately.
Is it one of those situations where your professors are so liberal that you sort of have to get in line to get a good grade? Some people I have on from campus are like, yeah, I've got to go against what I know is right just so that I can get a good grade and get out of that class.
Yeah, that actually is a problem here for a lot of people, unfortunately. I have not really dealt with it too much, but I know a lot of stories, especially through the pandemic, where there were a lot of faculty members and professors seemingly harassing people to disclose their vaccination status and things along those lines.
So wrong.
That definitely is a problem. Yeah.
That should never, ever, ever, never happen. They're supposed to be the academic elites, right, Austin? And then they say something so stupid, ignoring informed consent. Informed consent is the law of the world. It's not just us. And we should be able to make a decision like that. And the fact that there was any pressure at all to expose what your status was is actually against what human beings, supposedly got done after World War II, and we saw that experimentation happening. These emergency usage authorization shots should never have been pushed by anybody in any sort of authority, just my opinion. All right, let's get into these stories that we're working on from campusreform.org. These universities are celebrating Transgender Awareness Week. Where's this happening?
So this is happening all across the country, unfortunately. In this specific campus reform article, they mentioned places like University of Missouri, Ohio State, Kentucky, and even University of Pennsylvania. And the sad reality of that is two of those universities are actually with Princeton involved as well, are actually Ivy League schools. So to see schools of that caliber and of such a high echelon pushing ideas like this in an ideology that's not based in truth whatsoever is just really unfortunate to see.
You couldn't be more right. So why do they do it, do you think? just so that they get a good score, that their credit doesn't go down? It's an ESG thing. Why do they do it when you and I both know they know better?
I think it has a lot of reasons that they do it. I think one, they recognize the demographic of students that go to their universities.
Right.
Unfortunately, these campuses have been saturated with liberal students, so they want to cater to that demographic. And I think they're also caving to the social pressure. An issue like this is obviously really contentious and talked about these days. So if they have a way to try to virtue signal and make it seem like they're on the right side of things, I think they're going to take that chance when they can.
Yeah, but the demographic of trans students is going to be minute like it is in society. So it's actually the demographic of those who want them to say or do something to make them feel better about the school that they're spending $100,000 to go to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think a lot of the time, again, that comes back to the idea of virtue signaling. A
Yeah.
lot of these students really have no skin in the game of trans rights or anything along those lines. So I think that they just want to make it seem like they're aligning with what is considered right by the most people these days.
Even though they know it's wrong. It just is.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
you. I mean, it's too bad they're bending over backward because it's not helping society at all. And it's not helping these young students understand biology and reality and gender dysphoria and so on. It's Austin Brown from campusreform.org. Exclusive. Cornell students cancel Coulter's speech. Ann Coulter, my friend, wasn't allowed to speak. Where's this?
Yeah, so Cornell had a group of leftist radicals infiltrate one of the events on campus where Ann Coulter was trying to speak. And essentially, instead of recognizing that she, as well as any other person, has a right to free speech, they decided to heckle her until the event was shut down. And unfortunately, there was such a lack of security there present that, she was forced to leave, as you said.
You know, it's one of those things where the universities now are saying, no, you can have free speech. You can come and speak here, bring your own security, and give us several $1,000s in a down payment in case there's any damage. In essence, telling people don't come and speak. So Coulter, Ann is strong enough to say, I'm still going to show up. And the campus allowed somebody to shut her down? Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, and that's the sad reality of this. This is not the first time that we've seen this on a campus. This has been happening for years. Unfortunately, now it's with more frequency. But these schools that want to claim that they are a safe haven for free speech or have free speech statements or anything like that, what they really need to be focusing on is how do we protect free speech on this campus? Not just putting out a written statement that carries no weight, but actually putting people in these events to ensure that these people's rights are actually protected and not shut down like we saw with this.
Let me get your opinion on something. Why don't students just say, let her speak, and then we'll take the microphone and we'll debate, we'll argue, we'll mix it up, we'll have every different thought process, every different idea will be out there. Wouldn't that be more beneficial to society and for their learning process? Shutting it down isn't helping anybody. Why don't they do it that way?
Would be beneficial for society, but I don't really think it would be very beneficial for them because I think they recognize, like a lot of sane individuals, that their ideologies really don't make much sense. So I think that when it's going to come down to a debate based on logic and reasoning and things like that, they're not going to do so well. I think that, in the absence of being able to shout somebody down and, put their feelings before a fact, that, there's really not much weight that they're going to carry in a debate.
Austin, is it one or both of these things? They want to shut her down because they think that her saying what she's going to say will educate people and show another side of the story, or they want to shut her down because they're so ingrained in believing what they believe, they truly think what she's saying is somehow violent. What do you think it is?
I think it's a little bit of both. Nowadays, these sorts of individuals have become so indoctrinated that they've actually been deluded to think that words do, in fact, equal violence.
Right.
But really, what that is it's just a catchphrase that they want to throw around to say that if somebody dissents or speaks against what they believe, that they want to put the term violent on it so that most people have a reaction to it. When in essence, unpopular speech is the reason that we have free speech in the first place. We wouldn't have to have a First Amendment to protect something that's already popular and mainstream.
Exactly right. If we all agreed, why have the First Amendment? It's Austin Brown from campusreform.org. He's a student at Youngstown State University. Is it university or college?
It's university. Yeah.
Very good. So when it comes to these things happening on campus, it's your belief that they just sort of put out a memo. They say, hey, man, we don't like that this is happening, but secretly the administration's fine with alternative voices not coming in.
Yeah, and I think that that's the reason why you see so much of a reaction when a conservative group comes to campus and so much accommodation when a liberal group comes to campus. There rarely are issues like this when a left-leaning group or speaker comes to a college campus. I can tell you for a fact that on my college campus, when one of my groups gathers or has an event, we are not always accommodated extremely well. And I know that some of the students, have spoken out and said, why do we even allow conservative student groups to come onto campus? Which that's the whole essence of having, a diversity in thought.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's Austin Brown, and remind me, it's Austin_Brown_ on Twitter, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All
Yeah.
right, and Brown has an E at the end of it. Let's go to the next one. Elon Musk's Twitter takeover will create unsafe, is in quotes, unsafe environment, editorial board argues. Who's arguing this?
So this is the Pitt editorial board, and apparently this is their school newspaper, which is, you would think to be the voice of the students, but again, it's just a radicalized arm of propaganda for the school, it seems, to speak out against someone who's trying to take over a social media platform and make it equal for everyone to share their opinions and views.
So the editorial board said it's bad that Twitter is actually going to allow both sides. Because what happened for a long time, and you know this because you're on Twitter, is it was unfair, leaning towards the left. They would squelch people like me. It took me forever to get to 25,000 followers. Suddenly, I'm at 140,000 because people can see what I'm posting. There was no engagement, and if you just said that you like Biden or the left or Pelosi, you blew up like crazy. They thought that was fair and okay, but having equal access by all voices is somehow unsafe.
Yeah, and I think that again, if you really look at what the meaning of being liberal or what they claim it to be is accepting, but in reality, the only thing that they accept is the viewpoints that they agree with and the people that they agree with. And what they were hoping to do was turn Twitter into an echo chamber. Uh, Now that there's an equal playing field and people can express what they think and say that without fear of repercussion, then they're afraid because they know that now their ideas are going to be challenged, and their ideas are going to be challenged in a way that logic and fact and reasoning is brought against it, and people are going to see all of the holes that their argument has.
You know what kind of cracks me up? And I've been watching this, and it's kind of funny. Sarah Borealis did this the other day. People are announcing on Twitter, I'm leaving Twitter. As if, oh my God, he's leaving Twitter, she's leaving Twitter. What am I going to do now? Nobody really cares. I think they think that they're more important than they are. And this could be somebody who's not famous like Sarah Borealis. It could be anybody who has a blue check mark or who has a large following on the left. I am leaving, as if Twitter's now going to fall apart. It's not. In fact, if they stayed, they might actually get a bigger following from more diverse people from diverse backgrounds. Have you watched that as well, these big liberal accounts threatening to leave or I'm going to leave, or they have, in fact, left?
Yeah, and the ironic thing about that is these are very similar to the same people that were saying that they were going to leave when President Trump won, the presidency, and they were saying they were going to go to Canada or they were going to go to wherever, and really none of these people left. It's a hollow threat and one that nobody should really take seriously. And even if it was serious, I'm not really sure why people would care. I think that really speaks to the attitude of entitlement on the left, similar to, in many ways, how they think that they're entitled to their own truth and their own pronoun set and all the other accommodations that they expect to be made for them that are not based in any reality, but more of a delusion.
Very well said. It's Austin Brown from Youngstown, Ohio. Let me go to the last one. University commits to campus-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion audit. This whole DEI stuff is getting out of hand. Explain where this is happening and what that even means, DEI.
This is happening everywhere, unfortunately, and this is even something that I've seen at my own university. The student government here just recently voted to have a similar ad hoc committee formed to investigate some of the program cuts that have taken place on the campus. And for some reason, they thought that it would be a good idea to do that through a DEI lens. Similarly, at Point Park University, they're also having a DEI audit to go through every department and make sure that the education and the things that the university is doing is done through an equity lens, which, as we all know, despite what the name might suggest, has nothing to do with fairness, but in reality, it's all propaganda and a particular agenda being pushed.
What's interesting is they try to use it as a synonym of equality. It's not. Equity, of course, means that I take from you to give to that guy to make sure that you have the exact same. Equity is just a modern word for socialism. Do students not understand that that's what equity means? That it's not. It sounds cool, like you said. It sounds like it might be equality, but it's not. Equity literally means take from somebody who earned it, give it to somebody else so you feel better about everybody having the same. And when campus reform has asked students, hey, would you take that A down to a C to give the guy who got an F also a C? Their answer is, well, no, I worked for that. If they understood what equity meant, they wouldn't be for it, would they?
No, and I think that that's the problem. Issues like this are put, you know, in a good light because of the outcome. That's what people think is that they think they want equal outcome instead of equal opportunity.
Right.
And if the last few years haven't shown these people that that's actually not the case, with things like the student loan forgiveness, which are sure to cause mass inflation more than we already have, and gas prices and things of that nature, socialism does not make anybody better off. It may seem that it does, but there's always somebody paying for what's happening. There's never a free lunch, and it's the same with equity. Somebody is going to, suffer so someone else can gain.
Exactly
And
right.
unfortunately,
Well, you're right. Equality of outcome is socialism. You're absolutely 100% right. Plus, the really dark side of it is it disincentivizes people trying. It disincentivizes the idea of equal opportunity and the American land of opportunity. That goes away if you just say, here, everybody gets exactly the same. Why would I try?
exactly, and especially in a setting like a college university,
Yeah.
where you're there to learn. Everybody there has been gone through an application process and been accepted into the school. So the mission then of the school would be to teach these people and act as a beacon of truth rather than a political arena where certain ideologies are pushed in place of actually putting a valuable education forth for the very expensive tuition that these people are paying to get it.
I got you. I think it's very well said. Austin Brown from Youngstown State University in Ohio. I appreciate you coming on from campusreform.org. Let's do it again, okay?
Yep. Thanks for having me on, Joe. I
All right,
appreciate
brother.
it.
We appreciate you. We're back after this. Stay right here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
One in the chat if you liked it. Let's go. One in the chat if you liked it. Campus Reform always getting it done. Esky, I appreciate the 100. Thank you. Sebastian the 100. Thank you. Here. Holy, what am I missing over here? You guys are going nuts in the chat. Thank you. Hype Train Level 7. What do you got in you? Let's go. Give you guys that proper love in a second. Underhill, thank you. Let's go. Always great to have a young reporter from Campus Reform. Go to campusreform.org like I do every day. They truly do great journalism. Very, very smart young people, and they're doing journalism the way that it's supposed to be done. Go to joepags.com. Follow me on all the social media. Keep in mind we're building on the Instagram with the Come On videos, also the informational videos and some fun stuff over on YouTube. We're doing a lot of stuff on Twitter, on Getter, on Truth. It's all right there at joepags.com. Plus, great stories written by the staff every day, as well as links to our videos, too. Let's do some pop culture. Up.
Dirty pop.
Hi, Polo. What's happening, brother?
So have you seen the situation with Taylor Swift and Ticketmaster?
I have no idea. What is that?
So she's going on tour and she's putting tickets on sale for her concerts.
Sure.
And tomorrow Ticketmaster was supposed to do, I guess, their public on sale for the tickets. Well, apparently a few days prior to that, there was this disastrous pre-sale process that people were complaining about. Now to the point that they've canceled Friday's sale because they don't have enough tickets.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
And she could sell it easily. Who screwed it up, her or Ticketmaster?
Ticketmaster. So to the point where now, Tennessee's Attorney General is going to investigate Ticketmaster for antitrust violations.
Crazy. That is Polo. That's crazy. That's Sam. That's Carrie. I'm Joe. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
Claire.
I'm sorry, what? So they were going to sell the tickets and they screwed it up so they didn't sell enough tickets for the show?
So they did a pre-sale thing and people had a code, so they could buy these pre-sales or whatever.
Yeah.
But somehow they botched that and so people weren't able to buy tickets or it's just, I'm reading bits and pieces of it, but
they literally had to cancel. They had to cancel the concert.
Well, no. They had to cancel
the pre-sale
tomorrow's public on sale for the tickets because it says this is from Ticketmaster. Due to extraordinarily high demands on ticketing systems and insufficient remaining ticket inventory to meet that demand, tomorrow's public on sale for Taylor Swift has been canceled.
Dude, that's
I hope that Ticketmaster gets taken down for this because they suck and they charge way too many fees.
They're getting a big piece of it.
Literally a scam.
They're getting a big piece of it. And that's what they did.
And what they're saying now too is that I guess since I don't know if they merged or whatever with Live Nation, they're that's where the whole monopoly stuff is coming in, and so people are just really upset.
Wow.
Yeah, you literally can't buy tickets at a stadium anymore. It's not possible.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's insane.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, I appreciate you. See it. Don't do it, Sam.
Goodbye.
Wow. I apologize. Level 7 hype train. So we had Desky, Sebastian, and Fubex. Sebastian and Desky with 100. Fubex the 1,000. Thank you. 1,000 from Mr. Underhill. Then he says, I'm going to drop 25 gifted on your head. Boom, there it is. And I appreciate that so much, Underhill. Thank you. Everybody, I already saw the MUs in the chat. Give me more MUs in there. That's amazing. Thank you. Appreciate